Chapter 39. Lu Chen never thought about it. One day, he would be able to stand in such a place and sing in front of such a large audience. The spotlight shone brightly on his body, but Lu Chen's heart was surprisingly calm. The ones who weren't calm were the 150,000 plus fans of Lu Fei's live broadcast. Lu Feida is on stage. I saw it. I'm so excited. So excited. So excited. So excited. So excited. You can do it. We support you forever. Host is mighty. As the host, Li Feiyu didn't even look at the screen. He curled up his body and stared at the stage with his eyes wide open. He clenched his right hand into a fist and pressed it against his mouth as if something was about to gush out. He was nervous, extremely nervous. It was as if he was the one standing there at that moment. Li Feiyu's position was 3.5 meters above the stage. In the VIP area, the people in the industry were still talking about the Fit Band's performance. They all expressed their appreciation and recognition of Cheng Xiaodong's performance. Cheng Xiaodong's performance was the highest out of all the bands that had performed so far. Su Qingmei didn't care. She pulled Dong Yu's hand and said, "That kid is on stage. Just wait for a good show." There was a charming smile at the corner of her mouth, like a fox eyeing a chick. Dong Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Do you have to be like this? Even if he doesn't sing well, what do you get out of it? To vent your anger? Sister Yu, am I that shallow? Su Qingmei proudly said. I attacked him because I wanted him to clearly understand his own status. Then I will sign him and train him well. Only people who have experienced setbacks will know how to appreciate it. Dong Yu was speechless. Su Qingmei actually wanted to say that what she had prepared for Lu Chen was not just the appetizer of the appearance ranking. The real feast was yet to come. The scene quickly quieted down. The excitement caused by the Fit Band and Cheng Xiaodong quickly subsided. More than 2,000 people looked at Lu Chen with surprise, curiosity, doubt, and confusion. The performers who appeared in front of Lu Chen were all in groups. They were either a full band or singers accompanied by a band. No one ran onto the stage like him with an ordinary wooden guitar. Was Lu Chen going to sing a love song or a ballad? That kind of soft and powerless song. How could it match the atmosphere of the scene? How much courage did he need to stand in front of everyone? Many of the audience felt that their mood had been ruined and were a little dissatisfied. There were even boos in the crowd. Although most of the audience members were well-mannered and wouldn't jeer before Lu Chen's performance, the booing of just 3 or 4 people was particularly ear-piercing. Imperceptibly, it gave the people standing on the stage a huge amount of pressure. Lu Chen ignored the boos and said into the microphone, "Good evening everyone, I am Lu Chen from Nepenthes Bar. I will be bringing you my original work. This is the first time I will be singing this song in public. Its name is In the Spring." Original work? First time singing? In the spring? The audience was a little confused and felt that the information was a little too much. Lu Chen didn't explain anymore, and played the prelude neatly. The moment the steel string was plucked, his eyes looked into the void in front of him. His dark eyes seemed to be jumping with flames. Countless memories emerged in Lu Chen's mind. Those were the memories of Su Bo. The flames in his eyes turned into endless vicissitudes, and a slightly hoarse voice rushed out of his mouth. Still remember many years ago in the spring, at that time, I didn't have my hair cut, no credit card, no her, no home with 24-hour hot water. But I was so happy at that time, although I only had a broken wooden guitar, on the street, under the bridge, in the field, singing the song that no one cared about. At the beginning, the melody was very soothing. It was telling the people the story of the past, with a little vicissitudes and nostalgia for that period of time that would never be forgotten. However, when everyone thought it was a nostalgic folk song, the rhythm of the song suddenly sped up, and the sound of the piano was sonorous. If one day I have no one to rely on, please leave me here, in that time. If one day I leave quietly, please bury me here, in the spring. Suddenly a heart-wrenching roar rang out. The intense emotions were like artillery fire on the battlefield, bombarding everyone's heart with lightning speed, causing their scalps to go numb. It really touched the soul. But at this time, the singing returned to the rhythm of the previous melody. Still remember those lonely spring days, I didn't have a beard at that time. No Valentine's Day, no gifts, no my cute little princess. But I don't think everything is that bad. Although I only have the illusion of love, in the morning, in the night, in the wind, singing the song that no one cared about. The people who had been caught off guard finally came to their senses and became excited. It was the first time for everyone present to hear this song. Normally, it was difficult for a new song to arouse the emotional resonance of the audience. Many good songs needed to be listened to several times before they could hear the true flavor. But this song in the spring was not like that. Its melody and lyrics were not complicated. There was not the slightest bit of obscurity. Instead, it was full of burning vicissitudes, nostalgia feelings. It was so sincere and moving that it was impossible to resist. Everyone understood, and was irresistibly moved. People were moved, not because of the sadness contained in the lyrics, but because of the loss of the soul, the entanglement of emotions, the hesitation of losing after obtaining, and the frustration of being unable to recover the past era. Listen. Maybe one day, I have no one to rely on, please leave me here in that time. If one day, I leave quietly, please bury me here, in the spring. The whole scene was completely quiet. Only the accompaniment of the guitar and Lu Chen's singing echoed. The harsh boos had long disappeared, which made people feel ridiculous and pitiful when they thought about it. The biggest impact of this song was not on the more than 2,000 audience members, but the singers who performed with Lu Chen on the same stage. They came from all over the country. Many people came to Beijing to pursue their musical ideals. They longed to be famous, to be appreciated, and to be the object of attention. However, the reality was always so cruel. When ideals were replaced by the need to survive, and youth passed away without any gain, they gradually became numb, no longer stuck to their beliefs, forgot their original intentions, and became accustomed to it. Until now, when they heard Lu Chen's song in the spring, the deep scars hidden in their hearts were torn open layer by layer, and they experienced unspeakable pain. How could such a song be sung by Lu Chen? He's so young, he's just a newcomer. He at the entrance of the backstage, Qin Hanyang and Sister Na stood side by side. The former's face was flushed red, and his body was slightly trembling. The latter's eyes were filled with sparkling tears, and she used her teeth to bite her lips. Inside, the members of the North Needle Band were all silent. Gan Lang sat blankly as if he was petrified by magic. He felt that he was very sad. Cheng Xiaodong stopped in the staff passageway. His expression was incomparably ugly. At the bottom of the Blue Lotus bar, whether it was the singers or the band members who had already performed or were waiting to go on stage, they all spontaneously rushed to the large floor-to-ceiling window. They looked at the stage through the glass as if they were on a pilgrimage, because they knew that they were witnessing the birth of a classic. In the middle and upper VIP areas, no one spoke. At this moment, there was no need to say anything, just listen to the song. If one day, I quietly leave, please bury me here, in the spring. Gazing at this moment in the gorgeous spring, it's still as warm as it was then. The song gradually faded, but the emotions remained, as if spring had never left. Note: in the spring, lyricist/composer, Wang Feng. Chapter 40. The crowd of more than 2,000 people was very quiet. It was so quiet that if someone coughed in a corner, everyone would be able to hear it. However, an indescribable emotion was surging in the crowd. Lu Chen put down his guitar. The vicissitudes of life in his eyes receded like the tide, returning to their original brightness. He simply said, "Thank you." Applause suddenly rang out. At first, there were only a few small claps. Soon, people seemed to be awakened from their slumber as they applauded. They stared at Lu Chen's clapping. From sporadic to concentrated, from messy to orderly, one after another. Charge! No one knew who shouted in the crowd, but it quickly infected everyone around him. Charge! 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 Thousands of pairs of arms were raised high as countless people roared in unison. In an instant, a huge wave of sound was set off at the scene. Even the calmest person would feel their scalp tingle and their body tremble. They were so excited that they couldn't help but want to join in and charge together. Such a scene would usually only appear at a large-scale music festival, when the audience's emotions had reached a boiling point. Rush! also meant that the singer should sing one more time or one more song. The original origin of this was the classic rock song, Geo, performed by the famous Bluebird Band in the United States. When fans heard this song, they would shout "Go" along with the passionate melody. Even after the song was finished, they wouldn't stop until the Bluebird Band sang it again. This caused a wave to spread to China. The Chinese music fans changed "Go" to "Charge," which was more suitable for them. The meaning was the same, but the sound was more powerful. Charge, charge, charge. I'll accompany you to the skies. The other singers who also came to participate in the Bluebird Festival couldn't help but feel envious. This was because they knew what charge represented. Except for a few fans, the audience was basically a true music lover. It was very difficult to get their approval. In the past, it had only happened a few times. In contrast, the warm atmosphere brought by the fit band in Xiaodong was nothing. Moreover, they also hoped that Lu Chen could sing the song, In the Spring, that struck their souls again. I didn't get enough of it just now. The sound of charge engulfed the entire area and also gave the people in the VIP area of the Blue Lotus Bar a strong impact. The people in the industry looked at each other. Apart from being shocked, they were speechless. Dong Yu stared blankly at Lu Chen, who was standing on the stage. Her almond-shaped eyes, hidden under her black-rimmed glasses, revealed a strange look. She said as if to herself, "What a wonderful show." Su Qingmei, who was sitting next to her, blushed and wanted to find a hole to hide in. She had just vowed that she would teach Lu Chen a lesson, but she didn't expect that in the end, Lu Chen would teach everyone a lesson. At the same time, it was a heavy slap to her face. Her little scheme against Lu Chen, whether it was the appetizer or the delicious meal, did not have any effect at all. Everything was swept into the trash can. How could someone as arrogant as Miss Su endure this? Dong Yu didn't continue to ridicule her sister. She turned around and very seriously said to Su Qingmei, "Your eyes weren't wrong. Let me go negotiate his contract." Su Qingmei bent down and buried her head deep into Dong Yu's bosom. Then she cried out, "Ah!" Dong Yu smiled. At the table next to her, Chang Wei, who usually didn't show his emotions, had a shocked expression on his face. He looked at the similarly flabbergasted Chen Jianhao with an incredulous gaze and murmured, old Chen, you really hit it well. You actually buried such a big bomb for me." This music festival was jointly organized by Light Rain Media and Blue Lotus Bar. The main party was still Light Rain Media. The goal was to promote the North Needle Band, which had just been signed by them. The North Needle Band in Ganlang had also made careful preparations. They spent a lot of money to invite famous musicians to create 2 songs for them. Moreover, they received good reviews from industry insiders. They were waiting to amaze the world with a single brilliant feat. Lu Chen, who came from Forget Worries Bar, was originally just a foil. He was only a stepping stone for the North Needle Band. Who would have thought that Lu Chen would actually bring out such a wonderful original work and cause a huge sensation at the scene? It was as if this music festival existed just for him. Although this didn't affect Chang Wei and Blue Lotus Bar, and instead had a lot of benefits, he still felt that it was ridiculous. Among the people sitting at the same table as Chang Wei and Chen Jianhao, there was a refined middle-aged man. When he heard Chang Wei's complaints, he shook his head and said, This song. This middle-aged man was also someone in the music industry. His name was Chen Ke. He was the editor of Beijing Pop Music magazine and a music critic. His pen name, Jianghu's Carefree Guest, was quite famous in the music industry. Chen Ke and Chang Wei's relationship was very good. He had participated in Blue Lotus Bar's music festival many times. The North Needle Band's new song was recognized by him, and he gave a good review. But now he had to admit that the 2 original songs couldn't be compared to In the Spring at all. It was just that Chen Ke didn't know what to say. This was because such a work full of vicissitudes of life shouldn't have been created by a young man in his early 20s. But the facts were in front of him. Not only did Lu Chen write In the Spring, but he also sang it with real feelings. It was really incredible. He shook his head not to deny it, but because his common sense had been subverted, and his brain couldn't process it. In this regard, Chen Jianhao smiled bitterly and said, Boss Chang, you really wronged me. I'm innocent. Everyone couldn't help but laugh. It was rare to see this old man act like a rogue and act cute. At the same time, the atmosphere in Whale TV Lu Fei's live broadcast room was even more explosive. Like. Lu Fei Da's new song is too good. I agree. I want to cry after listening to it. My heart aches for the anchor. Can anyone tell me who the anchor's little princess is? I promise I won't hack her to death. To be able to hear such a song, my life is worth it. I really want to listen to it again. I really want to go to the live venue to listen to it. I really want to listen. Ha ha ha. Who said that Lu Fei Da was under pressure just now? Is his face swollen? Okay, my face is swollen, but I'm happy. Go. System notification. Call me Li Bai Silver 3 has gifted the Anchor 1 aircraft carrier. System notification. Call me Li Bai Silver 3 has gifted the Anchor 1 aircraft carrier. System notification. Big Brother Whale Gold 6 has gifted the Anchor 1 aircraft carrier. System notification. Don't Stop Me Silver 3 has gifted the Anchor 1 aircraft carrier. Seeing the domineering aircraft carriers appearing on the screen one after another, Li Feiyu smiled until his mouth was crooked. So far in this evening's live broadcast, the total value of the newly increased fish balls from the fish fans had exceeded 20T, completely exceeding the 5T goal he had promised to Lu Chun. Not only that, the number of online viewers in the live broadcast room had exceeded 150,000, and it was still growing significantly. Such a hot situation made Peter Pan want to immediately pick up the phone and call Lu Chun. Sing 2 more songs. Go. The audience rushed for more than a minute. Lu Chun, who had been deeply moved by their enthusiasm, finally calmed down. He smiled, and his eyes flashed with a little light. Then he said to the microphone, "Thank you for your support." The shouting instantly quieted down, and everyone listened carefully to what Lu Chun had to say. Lu Chun continued. Next, I'm going to bring you the second song I composed. Similarly, it's also the first time I've sung here. What? The second original work? Many people thought they had heard wrong, and all of them showed a look of astonishment. Under the current atmosphere, everyone thought that Lu Chun would cater to their enthusiastic request and sing, in the spring again, so that everyone would be satisfied and thoroughly satisfied. They never thought that Lu Chun would actually come up with a second new song. Is he going against the natural order? Chapter 41. Facing the countless surprised, doubtful, and shocked gazes from the audience, Lu Chun smiled calmly. He said, "Before I start singing, please allow me to change this guitar." Lu Chun held the guitar pillow and picked it up. He turned to Qin Hanyang, who was standing at the backstage exit, and asked, "Big Brother Qin, can you lend me an electric guitar?" "Wait." Qin Hanyang replied loudly. Without hesitation, he turned around and ran back inside to grab his electric guitar. Then he rushed onto the stage in 2 or 3 steps. His electric guitar was an American-made Fender. Fender had the best quality among similar brands. Of course, its price was also very shocking. After Qin Hanyang bought it, he treated it like a treasure and never lent it to anyone. But now, without the slightest hesitation, he lent his Fender electric guitar to Lu Chun. Not only that, but Qin Hanyang also personally connected the electric guitar to the cable and gave it to Lu Chun. Lu Chun didn't think that Qin Hanyang would actually give his electric guitar to him. He took the electric guitar from Qin Hanyang's hands and gave the wooden guitar to Qin Hanyang. Then he said, "Let me introduce everyone. This is the lead singer of the Bionics, Qin Hanyang, Big Brother Qin." Qin Hanyang was caught unprepared. He immediately waved to the audience and said, "Hello everyone." The audience responded with warm applause and whistles. Lu Chun smiled and said, "Thank you, Big Brother Qin. Big Brother Qin will also be performing on stage in a bit. Everyone will see you again." And then, I also have to thank the Blue Lotus Bar. It was the Blue Lotus Bar that gave many singers like me a chance to meet each other on such a beautiful night. The following song is called Blue Lotus. I will give it to the Blue Lotus Bar, and to all those who yearn for freedom and pursue their dreams. That's you. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Chun raised his head and looked straight ahead. His eyes were incomparably firm. "Nothing can stop me. When he sang the first line, Lu Chen strummed the strings. The prelude sounded. It wasn't intense, but it contained power and instantly rushed into everyone's ears. You're yearning for freedom, the life of a heavenly steed. Your heart is free of worries. Through the dark years I also felt hesitant. When you lower your head, only then did he realize the path under his feet. The world of freedom in his heart. So clear and lofty, blooming and never withering. Blue Lotus. This song was completely different from In the Spring. It did not have the sadness of vicissitudes, the melancholy of nostalgia for the past, or the excitement of blood boiling. It brought people to the boundless plateau. That was the place closest to the sky. It was pure, clear, lofty, and able to cleanse one's soul without restraint. Embracing the ideal, loving all the beauty in the world, resolute, calm, and quiet, he sang loudly. Nothing can stop me. You're yearning for freedom, the life of a heavenly steed. Your heart is free of worries. Through the dark years I also felt hesitant. When you lower your head, only then did he realize the path under his feet. The world of freedom in his heart. So clear and lofty, blooming and never withering. Blue Lotus. All the people and the audience listened quietly, as if they were bathed in the warm sunshine. They could clearly feel the power of the song, and couldn't help but be reminded of countless beautiful memories. This song, Blue Lotus, doesn't have many heroic words in its lyrics, and the melody doesn't have many ups and downs. However, the impact and shock it brings to people is not the slightest bit weaker than In Spring. A song, a baptism of the soul. The whole performance site quieted down again. More than 2,000 people froze into lifelike sculptures. No one spoke, no one applauded or cheered. They were all listening and moved. Until the end disappeared. Chang Wei suddenly woke up as if he had just woken up from a dream. He grabbed Chen Jianhao's arm hard and said in an unquestionable tone, "Old Chen, I want this song. No one can take it from me." Chen Jianhao felt pain in his arm. He smiled bitterly and said, "Boss Chang, you have to discuss this with Xiao Lu." Chen Jianhao could understand Chang Wei's excitement. A truly good song could only be found by chance, especially the kind of classic that could be sung for a long time. Chang Wei did not ask for this song to become famous, but to his bar, this song was simply a priceless treasure. Imagine a band singing Blue Lotus in the Blue Lotus bar. That kind of scene. Chen Jianhao suddenly felt a trace of jealousy. Lu Chen actually wrote Blue Lotus for Blue Lotus. Why didn't he write Forget Worries Bar for Forget Worries Bar? Chang Wei laughed and let go of his hand. His eyes revealed a crafty look. You're his boss, so he has to listen to you. Moreover, he already said that this song is for Blue Lotus. How could Chen Jianhao fall for this trick? He shook his head and said, he also said that it's for everyone. Actually, Xiao Lu, he's quite short on money. As long as you're willing to spend it. Well, don't tell anyone. He's a bit stubborn. Chang Wei stared at Chen Jianhao. They're both 1,000-year-old foxes. Why talk about strange stories? The meaning behind Chen Jianhao's words was very clear. As long as Chang Wei was willing to spend his hard-earned capital, he would naturally be able to win this song. If he didn't want to spend too much, then there was no need to say anything else. Lu Chen's temper was a bit stubborn. Chang Wei thought for a bit. He waved his hand and ordered a waiter. Quickly go backstage and invite teacher Lu Chen over. Tell him that I have something to discuss with him. The waiter bowed and replied, Yes, boss, I'll go invite him right away. Chang Wei was still worried, so he ordered again. Remember to be polite. Go. 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 At this moment, familiar cheers once again rang out from the audience. The audience that was moved by Lu Chen's second new song was not satisfied. Instead, they were even more eager to hear that beautiful music again. It's just that their enthusiasm can't continue to keep Lu Chen. Lu Chen held his electric guitar and bowed to the audience. Thank you, everyone, thank you. Then he stepped off the stage amidst the wave of go. The audience felt regret, helplessness, and sorrow. Warm applause rang out. It was to keep him here, but it was also to praise him. Lu Chen's performance tonight could be said to be perfect. One song, In the Spring and Blue Lotus, took all the limelight tonight. All the bands and singers that appeared before him couldn't compare, and he believed that there wouldn't be anyone that could compare either. Therefore, he couldn't continue to be in the limelight. After all, this wasn't Forget Worries Bar's home ground. Behind him was the pillar of Blue Lotus, the North Needle band that had just signed with Light Rain Media. What Luchin didn't know was that while he was walking off the stage, the lead singer and captain of the North Needle band, Gan Lang, was suffering indescribably in the backstage. Originally, he had full confidence in himself and the North Needle band. He believed that they would be able to amaze the world with their 2 original songs and become the absolute protagonist on the stage, which would be a good start for him to sign with a new company. In the end, Luchin, who went on stage first, used In the Spring to crush his confidence to pieces, and then used Blue Lotus to make him lose all his courage. He couldn't compete, he didn't want to compete, and he didn't dare to compete. What was incomparably ridiculous was that before this, Gan Lang was still condescendingly giving pointers to Luchin, not wanting the latter to lose in an ugly manner. Now that he thought about it, he felt that his old face was flustered. Gan Lang suddenly stood up and said to Qin Hanyang and Sister Na, "To Qin's Sister Na, next up, you guys should go on stage. I have something to do, so I'll be leaving first." Without waiting for the 2 to reply, Gan Lang turned around and left through the staff passageway. He didn't even greet his own bandmates. His companions were all stunned. Qin Hanyang and Sister Na looked at each other in dismay. The 2 were well aware that Gan Lang was hit so hard by Luchin's new song that his mentality was unbalanced. Under these circumstances, it was very wise for him to give up on stage. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to sing well. Regarding this, whether it was Qin Hanyang or Sister Na, they didn't know what to say. Gan Lang's luck was too bad. Or it could be said that the opponent he chose was too strong. But who would have known beforehand? "Brother Qin, Sister Na." The clueless Luchin returned backstage, smiled and asked, "What are you guys talking about?" Sister Na laughed and opened her arms to hug Luchin. "Xiao Lu, congratulations. Note: Blue Lotus lyrics / composer Su Wei." Chapter 42. You're going to be famous. Sister Na said with certainty, 100%. Qin Hanyang, who was next to her, nodded his head, agreeing with Sister Na's assertion. You who sat next to me, Cinderella, In the Spring, and Blue Lotus, for original works and 4 masterpieces. Luchin has already fully demonstrated his amazing talent. Coupled with his singing and appearance, there is no reason why he is not famous. Oh right, there is also the song he wrote for Sister Na. These are 5 original works that are qualified to become classics. Luchin smiled and said, "Thank you, Sister Na." He was not that optimistic. During this period of time, in addition to sorting out the songs in his memory, Luchin also searched the internet for a lot of information related to the entertainment industry. Whether it was public information, insider information, or groundless things, he did not let it go. He tried to deepen his understanding of the mainstream circle that he was about to step into. The current era is no longer the 80s or 90s. Compared to 10 years ago, there has been a tremendous change. In the past, singers and musicians could rely on an outstanding work to become famous, and then use that song to eat for a few years, or even more than 10 years, earning a lot of money that made people's hearts beat faster. In the new century, with the big development of the entertainment industry and the rise of the internet world, such a good thing is very rare. Because people's horizons have been broadened, the level of appreciation has greatly increased, and the demand for audiovisual enjoyment has also risen. If traditional singers want to become famous with a song, they have to spend a lot of effort to promote it. At the same time, the new generation of online singers is rapidly rising with the advantage of new media. A good song can quickly become popular through the viral spread of the internet. Even if you don't sell the album, you can still make a lot of money by relying on various channels such as ringtone downloads. But now, becoming famous is already a hellish task. It doesn't mean that you can stand out just because you are handsome, sing well, or can create original works. It still requires a lot or even a huge amount of publicity and hype. Some people, in order to become famous, use all kinds of inferior means to create hype. This causes the entertainment industry to be covered with a layer of strange and dazzling colors. It is unknown how many talented people have fallen into this, and then quietly disappeared. If Lu Chen wanted to rely on his own original works to become a celebrity, the best way was to sign a contract with an entertainment or media company and have professionals package and promote him. It was the fastest shortcut. But this was exactly what Lu Chen didn't want. Nothing could stop his yearning for freedom. Lu Chen already had a preliminary idea about the future. Of course, at this time, Lu Chen would not say what he was thinking and spoil everyone's mood. He looked backstage and asked doubtfully, "Where did Brother Gan Lang go?" It was really not that Lu Chen was deliberately slapping his face. After he finished his performance and left the stage, it was Gan Lang and the North Needle Band's turn to perform. However, Gan Lang had already given up and left. His companions wanted to cry but had no tears. How could they still stay? Qin Hanyang coughed twice and said, "Big Brother Gan has something to do at the last minute. Sister Na, let's go on stage." If he didn't go on stage soon, the performance would be interrupted. Lu Chen understood and didn't continue this topic. He smiled and said, "Then I'll cheer for Sister Na here." Sister Na said, "I won't be singing a new song tonight." Her reason for not singing a new song was completely different from Gan Lang's. The latter was defeated by Lu Chen and lost the courage to go on stage. Sister Na, on the other hand, didn't want to divide the glory that belonged to Lu Chen. From the outside of the stage, there was still the sound of charge. Tonight, in this light blue music carnival, Lu Chen should be the brightest star. Qin Hanyang understood her and said, "Then let's collaborate on 2 old songs." The two brought the Bionics on stage. Lu Chen, like Qin Hanyang and Sister Na, stood at the exit of the backstage, ready to enjoy their performance. Although Lu Chen worked at Forget Worries Bar for more than half a year, he really didn't see the two of them collaborate more than a few times. Because when the Bionics performed, he got off work and rushed home. "Excuse me, are you teacher Lu Chen?" At this time, a waiter rushed over and politely asked Lu Chen. Lu Chen was stunned and said, "Yes, what's the matter?" The waiter showed a relieved smile and respectfully said, "Our boss Chong wants to invite you over. He has an important matter to discuss with you. I don't know if it's convenient for you right now." It really came. Lu Chen was very clear what Chong Wei wanted to discuss with him. He thought for a moment and said, "It's a bit inconvenient right now. After Brother Qin and Sister Na's performance is over, I'll immediately go over. First, apologize to Boss Chong for me." It wasn't that Lu Chen was deliberately acting like a big shot, but Qin Hanyang and Sister Na specifically came over to support him. Now that it was their turn to perform on stage, whether it was useful or not, Lu Chen had to stand here to express his attitude. In addition, stretching the other party a bit would undoubtedly give him some initiative in the subsequent negotiations. Compared to Chong Wei, Boss Chong, Lu Chen was undoubtedly the weaker party. After hearing Lu Chen's reply, the waiter really felt like he was being beaten by a dog. He didn't think that Lu Chen would actually want to delay. Hu and Hohai didn't know of Blue Lotus Flower's great name. Since Big Boss Chong was personally greeting him, shouldn't a small singer like Lu Chen immediately run over to greet him? This kid is too arrogant. The waiter secretly ridiculed in his heart, but he didn't forget Chong Wei's warning. Thus, on the surface, he didn't show it. After hesitating for a moment, he said, "Okay then, I'll go back and report to the boss first." Lu Chen nodded and returned his attention to the stage. The first song that Sister Na and the Bionics collaborated on was the famous song, "Never Lower Your Head" by the American country queen Jennifer. This song was also the theme song for a Hollywood blockbuster of the same name. The latter once set a record of over $1 billion in the domestic box office. Therefore, this song, "Never Lower Your Head," was very familiar to everyone. Although Sister Na's cover couldn't be said to be perfect, she used her wide vocal range and skilled breathing techniques to control it with ease. There were many people in the audience who knew what was good for them. When Sister Na sang to the climax, they all applauded and cheered. The atmosphere that had gradually cooled down because of Lu Chen's departure once again heated up. The second song was "The Little Lover," sung by Sister Na and Qin Hanyang. This song has been very popular recently. The two of them sang and matched each other seamlessly. The humor in the lyrics was vividly expressed. Coupled with the small actions that made people smile, it attracted a burst of applause from time to time. In the last song, "City Sky," Qin Hanyang was the main character. He used his unique voice and powerful singing to shock the audience a little, and won the applause of the audience. Although there was a gem like Lu Chen in front of them, the two veterans still relied on their own outstanding performance to win the love and recognition of more than 2,000 audience members. When the curtain call came, the warm applause lasted for a full half a minute. Lu Chen also applauded and cheered for them. When the two returned to the backstage, he congratulated them and gave them a thumbs up. He also gave Sister Na a warm hug. Sister Na smiled and said, "Today is really a happy day." Although her appearance was very ordinary, and even a little ugly, the happy smile on her face at this moment was also very moving. Qin Hanyang also sighed. "I haven't been on the scene for a long time. It feels really good." Singing in front of hundreds of customers in a bar, and performing in front of more than 2,000 audience members, are absolutely different experiences. Standing on a big stage will make people's adrenaline secretion speed up, and they will be so excited and nervous that they can't control themselves. Fortunately, both of them are experienced and can hold the scene. Brother Qin, Sister Na, Teacher Lu Chen. The waiter from before appeared again and said submissively, "Our boss Chang invites the three of you over." Compared to before, his attitude was more respectful and polite. Qin Hanyang and Sister Na didn't know what was going on, so they looked at each other in surprise. They didn't understand why Chang Wei invited them and Lu Chen to go together. Lu Chen immediately understood and said, "Brother Qin, Sister Na, since Boss Chang invited us, then let's go together. Our boss is probably up there." Qin Hanyang and Sister Na were relieved. They thought it was because of Chen Jianhao. Chapter 43. Xiao Lu has talent. An editor of a certain website said, "Xiao Lu's song is pretty good." An owner of a well-known bar said, "Xiao Lu is very handsome." A female radio host said, "Xiao Lu." The VIP seating area on the top floor of Blue Lotus Bar seemed to have suddenly turned into a deer farm. Enthusiastic greetings of Little Deer continuously rang out. Under the introduction of the two bosses, Chang Wei and Chen Jianhao, Lu Chen got to know many people in the industry. They were all invited by Light Rain Media and Blue Lotus Bar, and each had their own reputation and status in the industry. Whether it was true or false, these seniors in the industry all expressed their appreciation and friendliness towards Lu Chen. Very few newcomers who had just entered the industry were able to receive this kind of treatment. And Lu Chen's performance made people have a whole new level of respect for him. No matter what the other party's background was, his etiquette was impeccable. He was calm and unhurried, neither servile nor overbearing. His calm and composed demeanor made Chang Wei secretly amazed. Chang Wei understood from Chen Jianhao that Lu Chen's family circumstances weren't good. However, now that he paid attention to Lu Chen's performance, it didn't seem like he came from an ordinary family. This was because temperament wasn't something that could be easily faked. As a veteran in the industry for many years, Chang Wei had a pair of sharp eyes, but he couldn't see through Lu Chen's depth. This made him a little worried about the upcoming negotiations. "This is the general manager of Light Rain Media, Chief Dong Yu." The last person to be introduced was a woman wearing a Prada summer dress. Her appearance and figure, as well as the black-rimmed glasses she wore, made Lu Chen's mind suddenly appear the three golden words "Glasses Girl." "Hello, Chief Dong." Lu Chen lightly shook the delicate hand of the other party and politely said, "Thank you." Dong Yu looked at the handsome man standing in front of her with interest and lightly smiled. "You're welcome." Lu Chen was naturally grateful to Light Rain Media for putting in the money and effort to organize this music night, giving him the chance to stand on the big stage and sing his dream song to thousands of people. From the corner of his eye, he saw Su Qingmei, who was sitting not far away and pretending to be indifferent. Chang Wei said in a timely manner, "Let's go inside and talk." The performance outside was still going on, and the noise was not conducive to discussion, so everyone went into the bar together. They chose the largest table. In addition to Lu Chen, there were also Dong Yu, Chang Wei, Chen Jianhao, Gong Kai, Qin Hanyang, Sister Na, and Su Qingmei. Qin Hanyang and Sister Na were very clear that if it wasn't for Lu Chen, the two of them wouldn't have the qualifications to sit here. Therefore they each ordered a cocktail and slowly sipped it, pretending to be passers-by. As soon as the drinks were served, Chang Wei directly asked, Lu Chen, Chief Dong and I are very interested in the 2 original works you performed tonight. I wonder if you're willing to part with them? He originally didn't want to appear to be so eager, but Lu Chen's calmness made him give up on some ideas. Might as well be straightforward. Lu Chen's eyes flashed and smiled. Since Chief Chang and Chief Dong like it, I'm very willing to help you. I just don't know how much money you two are willing to pay for the copyright. Chang Wei and Dong Yu looked at each other and saw a trace of surprise in each other's eyes. Lu Chen was not like a newcomer at all. His calmness was beyond everyone's expectations. Dong Yu pondered for a moment, raised 2 slender white fingers and said, 2 songs, 200,000. 100,000 per song, including the lyrics and music, was the treatment of a famous person. It could be said to be very sincere. Dong Yu originally didn't want to offer such a high price, but Lu Chen's attitude made her change her mind. She simply revealed her trump card, trying to achieve a one-hit kill effect. For a newcomer, this kind of price was not only a real benefit, but it could also increase one's status. As long as Lu Chen signed the copyright transfer contract, he would have the qualifications to enter the ranks of famous people. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he had reached the heavens in one step. However, Lu Chen didn't reveal a trace of excitement, as if this price was already within his expectations. His indifferent expression made Dong Yu feel like she was punching the air with all her strength. The atmosphere at the banquet suddenly became subtle. After a moment, Lu Chen said, Blue Lotus, 200,000. Apart from the authorship, all the copyrights will be transferred. 200,000 per song. Lu Chen actually doubled the price. 200,000? Su Qingmei, who was sitting next to Dong Yu, finally couldn't take it anymore and tenderly scolded. Do you think you're Xianqingyi? Xianqingyi was a big shot in the domestic music industry. He was a top-notch songwriter and had produced albums for many Heavenly Queen-level singers. Over the years, he had created many classic works. Asking him for 200,000 wasn't easy, but it was possible to use some connections. Perhaps it was because she hit a wall with Lu Chen. But Su Qingmei now didn't like Lu Chen no matter how she looked at him. Moreover, wasn't 200,000 10 times the price she paid Lu Chen for the song? This was simply a slap in the face. Was Miss Su that easy to bully? Lu Chen smiled but didn't say anything. He acted as if he didn't hear this director Su's roar. Whether it was Blue Lotus or in the spring, he took them out tonight to sell. Lu Chen was in need of money, extremely in need of money. That heavy debt was like a mountain pressing down on him and his family, making it hard for them to breathe. He wanted his mother, sister, and sister to live a relaxed and happy life. Taking out a portion of the wealth from the dream world and selling it was undoubtedly the fastest, most convenient, and simplest way. However, how to sell it was very particular. If Lu Chen took a thick stack of music scores to someone else or an entertainment company, he would only end up selling it like gold. The other party wouldn't be able to give a sky-high price. Lu Chen wasn't that stupid. What he needed to do was to first prove the value of his work to everyone, and then wait for the highest price. If you want to buy it, please bid. If you want to take advantage of it, dream on. Right now Lu Chen had this kind of confidence. Even if Light Rain Media didn't want it, there would still be people who would be tempted. For example, Gong Kai, who was sitting next to Chang Wei, had an obviously nervous expression. Although Lu Chen didn't know that the leader of the North Needle Band was defeated by him to the point that he lost the courage to go on stage, he believed that the other party would definitely be willing to take out his savings in exchange for a truly good song. As for Chang Wei, Blue Lotus and the Blue Lotus Bar were very compatible. Dong Yu reached out her hand and patted Su Qingmei. She calmly asked, Then what about the other song? Are you going to sing it yourself? In her opinion, In the Spring was more valuable than Blue Lotus. No. Lu Chen unexpectedly shook his head and said, In the Spring isn't suitable for me to sing, so I'm preparing to sell it to my own boss. I think this song would be very suitable for Big Brother Qin's The Bionics. He smiled and looked at Chen Jianhao, who had a stunned look on his face. What? Qin Hanyang never thought that Lu Chen would actually sell, In the Spring, to Forget Worries Bar for him to sing. He almost choked on the mouthful of wine in his mouth. His face immediately flushed red. Chen Jianhao was, after all, an experienced person. He quickly came back to his senses and said in a deep voice, "I'll buy it." If he missed this kind of opportunity, he wouldn't be able to mingle in Hohai anymore. The price didn't need to be discussed. In the spring had an owner. The pressure on Dongyu and Chang Wei suddenly increased. Gong Kai almost stood up. The bionics obtained in the spring, crushing North Needle Band, was simply a piece of cake. He wanted to buy Blue Lotus with his own money. Su Qingmei stared at Lu Chen and asked, "Since it doesn't suit you, then how did you write this song?" Although it was a bit overbearing, this was a question that everyone present wanted to ask. In the Spring didn't seem like a song that a young person could write. Without enough experience, without the precipitation of time, how could one express the vicissitudes of life? Also, the content of the lyrics didn't seem to match Lu Chen at all. However, this song was indeed an original work. Since Lu Chen dared to take it out and sell it for a high price, he naturally wasn't afraid of copyright issues. Everyone present didn't have any sand in their eyes. Everyone's gaze was focused on him. Lu Chen faintly smiled and said, "Not long ago, by chance, I met a wandering singer. He once walked through Tibet and drifted everywhere. He was very tired, very haggard, but also very strong. He told me a lot of things and taught me a lot. He was my teacher." After listening to Lu Chen's story, everyone was silent. After a while, Dongyu asked, "Lu Chen, can you tell me his name?" "Subo." Lu Chen very seriously said, "His name is Subo. Although I can't tell the truth, I can make your name a legend in this world." Chapter 44. Subo. Dongyu softly repeated this ordinary name. Her heart was filled with a wonderful feeling. Through Lu Chen's narration, the image of a wandering, unrestrained vagabond singer was clearly outlined in her mind. 40 or 50 years old, still without a fixed residence, no savings and no home. His beard was unshaven and his face was weathered and full of vicissitudes. Wearing a set of old rags, he held a guitar that was not worth 300 yuan and sang in the wind. "If one day I quietly leave, please bury me in this in the spring." All the doubts seemed to have been answered. Sister Na sighed with emotion and said, "I really want to know this Xiao Lu. If there's a chance, invite him to the bar." Lu Chen smiled and said, "I don't know where he is now. I don't even have his phone number." Qin Hanyang regretfully said, "What a pity. What a pity." Dong Yu and Su Qingmei looked at each other. Dong Yu decisively said, "Blue Lotus, 200,000 yuan. We want the entire copyright. Of course, the authorship is still yours." The price of 200,000 yuan for a song was really high. It reached the level of a big shot in the industry. For a newcomer, it was really inconceivable. But Lu Chen's wisdom was that the condition he proposed was to buy out the entire copyright. This meant that the other benefits of the song would have nothing to do with him after the buyout. He wouldn't be able to enjoy the slightest bit of benefits. A good song, especially a classic, was actually a small gold mine. As long as one was good at digging, there was a lot of wealth that could be created. It could be used as the main theme of an album, or directly released as a single. It could be made into a ringtone for download, and at the same time, it could be used as a network authorization fee. If one was lucky enough to be chosen by a film company, it could be used as a theme song. In addition, there were adaptations and covers. A powerful music and entertainment company could squeeze out the value of a song to the extreme. The most important thing was the influence on the singer himself. It was common in the past for a song to make a singer star, and it still exists now. Lu Chen gave up these rights, so the price of 200,000 yuan became acceptable. It must be known that those big shots in the industry and many famous songwriters would ask for a share of the rights and retain part of the copyright. He nodded and said, "This is what I want." Of course, Lu Chen knew the importance of copyright, but for him, those long-term benefits were too vague. It was really unrealistic for a newcomer to share the cake of an entertainment media company. There was no way that the shrewd, bespectacled girl in front of him would agree to the terms of the split. Therefore, it was enough for Lu Chen to ask for a high price. Moreover, through this deal, he had established his own reputation in the industry. If anyone wanted to buy songs from him, They would have to consider it carefully. 30,000 or 50,000. You still have the nerve to take it out? No matter how many good songs there were in Lu Chen's memory, he would not sell them at a low price. He would even ask for a share in the future. Dong Yu acted very neatly. After finalizing the deal, she immediately called her company's lawyer and signed a formal contract on the spot. After the signature was signed, 200,000 yuan was immediately transferred into Lu Chen's bank account. Lu Chen borrowed a laptop from the other party, logged into the Greater China Music Library account, and transferred the copyright of Blue Lotus to Light Rain Media through the online platform, thus completing the entire transaction. Although the fees for Greater China Music Library were black to the dogs, their service was very thorough. Even if it was Lu Chen's first time transferring copyright, it only took him a few minutes to complete. This also made Dong Yu and the others look at him in a higher light. Very few newcomers were willing to spend money to register the copyright of Greater China Music Library, because they couldn't guarantee that their works would be able to earn back the price they paid. Lu Chen was bold and ambitious, but his thoughts were meticulous and meticulous. He considered all aspects. This kind of young man had boundless prospects. It was a pleasure working with you. Dong Yu stood up and extended her hand towards Lu Chen. In the future, if you have any good songs, please consider Light Rain Media. Lu Chen shook her hand and smiled. It was a pleasure working with you. Light Rain Media is a company with strength and courage. I look forward to working with you again. Saying nice words didn't cost anything, so Lu Chen was naturally willing to form a good relationship with the other party. In the entertainment circle, connections were very important. Thus, he pretended not to see Su Qingmei rolling her eyes at him. Among the people present, the happiest was Gong Kai. With this Blue Lotus, in addition to the 2 original works of famous artists, producing an album wasn't just a dream. For the countless singers and bands in Beijing, producing an album was probably their lifelong dream. Thus, he also stood up and expressed his goodwill towards Lu Chen. The atmosphere was very harmonious. Chang Wei held a glass of champagne and smiled at Chen Jianhao. Old Chen, we're done talking. Now it's your turn. We contributed so much. How much of in the spring are you going to give to Xiao Lu? Originally, this matter was between Lu Chen and Chen Jianhao, and didn't need to be discussed here. However, Chang Wei had a grudge against Chen Jianhao. If it wasn't for Chen Jianhao expressing his support for Lu Chen, and giving Lu Chen enough confidence, then Light Rain Media could have gotten both songs, or they wouldn't have had to pay such a high price to buy Blue Lotus. Chang Wei and Light Rain Media had a beneficial relationship. Thus, Big Boss Chang wanted to squeeze on Chen Jianhao, and deliberately let him name a price. In any case, he couldn't let him get away with it. Dong Yu and Su Qingmei were also very curious. This time, even Lu Chen didn't know what to say. He was a person who clearly distinguished gratitude and grudges. The reason he sold in the spring to Forget Worries Bar was to thank Chen Jianhao for giving him a good paying job during his most difficult time. Of course, he wouldn't give it for free. Chen Jianhao also wouldn't ask for it for free. As for the price, it was really negotiable. It was enough for Lu Chen to sing in the spring once. It was too old and not suitable for a young singer. Even if he could borrow Su Bo's memory and perform it to perfection, it still wasn't his style. Giving it to Chen Jianhao was also giving it to Qin Hanyang and the Bionics. But now that Chang Wei directly mentioned it, Lu Chen couldn't say that he wanted to sell it for a cheap price. Wouldn't that be the same as Chang Wei running on Chen Jianhao? But what kind of person was Chen Jianhao? How could he be stumped by Chang Wei's little tricks? He smiled and said, "It's too vulgar to talk about money. I'm prepared to not pay a single cent." The counterattack that was neither light nor heavy made everyone stunned. Not a single cent? Was he going to take it for free? Chen Jianhao immediately revealed the answer to the riddle. "Xiao Lu, didn't you say that you wanted Forget Worries Bar's shares? Then I'll use 5% of Forget Worries Bar's shares to exchange for this song. How about it? 5% of Forget Worries Bar's shares." This answer was too unexpected. Even Lu Chen didn't expect it. Lu Chen did say that he wanted to buy some Forget Worries Bar's shares from Chen Jianhao, but at that time it was just a joke. It was to express that he didn't forget his roots. Unexpectedly, Chen Jianhao still remembered it. Chang Wei was stunned for a moment. Then he gave Chen Jianhao a thumbs up. Old Chen, good job. Out of all the people present, he was undoubtedly the one who understood Chen Jianhao the most. Forget Grass Bar's fixed asset value was at most 1 or 2 million. Because the bar was rented, it wasn't like Blue Lotus Bar, where even the land was their own. 5% wasn't much. However, Chen Jianhao had been in business for so long. The bar's business had always been good. It had a stable and loyal customer base. If he were to sell the bar now, there would definitely be people fighting to buy it for 3 or 4 million. That would be a net profit of several 100,000 a year. 5% of the shares didn't sound like much, but it was a long-term benefit. Chen Jianhao was willing to give some shares to Lu Chen. Obviously, it wasn't to buy in the spring, because Chen Jianhao could easily fork out 100 or 200,000. His real intention was to keep Lu Chen. Keeping him didn't mean that Lu Chen would always be singing in Forget Worries Bar. That was simply impossible. Instead, he wanted to use Lu Chen's name to increase the reputation of Forget Grass Bar. In the future, the more promising Lu Chen's future was, the more light Forget Worries Bar and Chen Jianhao would be able to bask in. And what he had to pay was only 5% of the shares. A win-win situation. Chen Jianhao smiled. He asked Dong Yu, "Boss Dong, can I borrow your lawyer to draft a contract?" Dong Yu naturally wouldn't refuse this small request. She also admired Chen Jianhao. Even in the wilderness of the pugilistic world, there was a dragon hibernating. Sister Na smiled at Lu Chen. "Congratulations, Boss Xiao Lu." Lu Chen bitterly smiled. He felt like a duck being forced onto a perch. Chapter 45. On Saturday, May 23, 2015, Lu Chen experienced a dream night. That night, he sang in front of more than 2,000 people, winning the most enthusiastic applause from the audience. That night, he earned the largest sum of money he had ever earned in his life. He sold an original work for 200,000 yuan. That night, he obtained 5% of Forget Grass Bar's shares, transforming from a worker to a minor partner. When Lu Chen signed his name on the share transfer contract, his heart was filled with gratitude. He was grateful for the long dream, grateful for the 3 lives he experienced in the dream, grateful for Su Bo, Mo Ran and Fang Mingyi. Lu Chen didn't know if the world in the dream really existed, but he knew that he was extremely lucky. And that wasn't the only lucky thing. When he arrived at the VIP area of Blue Lotus Bar, the live performance was coming to an end. Li Feiyu was still broadcasting. When he saw Lu Chen, he was so excited that tears streamed down his cheeks. "Look!" He pointed at the laptop screen. His eyes were filled with passion, scaring Lu Chen to the point that he had goosebumps all over his body. "What are you looking at?" When he took a closer look, what the heck? Lu Chen saw that the number of online viewers in his broadcast room had exceeded 300,000. 300,000 plus popularity. Lu Chen was really surprised and happy, as if a huge pie suddenly fell from the sky, and then smashed on top of his head with a bang sound. He felt dizzy. In online broadcasting, the number of online viewers was extremely important. It was easy to fake the number of followers, but the number of online viewers was different. Unless the website helped to fake it, it would reflect the value of the anchor to a large extent. The number of online viewers in Lu Fei's broadcast room had always been growing, but from the original peak of 100,000 plus, it had skyrocketed to 300,000 plus in just 2 hours. It was really a bit unbelievable. After all, he had only started broadcasting on Whale TV for a short time, so the number of fish fans was not much. Now, the number of fish fans had also reached 170,000 plus. What's going on? Lu Chen couldn't help but ask. "Tell me honestly, what good things did you do?" Li Feiyu laughed heartily. "We've made it to the top of the homepage. On the homepage of Whale TV, there are many lists that are used to recommend popular live programs and anchors. One of the most important ones is the site-wide hot list, which is also the most competitive list. The principle of the website's hot ranking was based on the number of online viewers in the live broadcast room, the number of bullet comments, and the number of donations. The corresponding value was calculated using a fixed formula. Those with high numbers would automatically be on the list. Unless there was a case of cheating, the website would not interfere. There were only a total of 12 spots on the website's trending list, and their positions were very eye-catching. Therefore, once they rushed to the trending list, they would definitely attract even more popularity. Lu Fei's live broadcast room had rushed to the bottom of the popularity chart when Lu Chen went on stage to sing, and then his popularity skyrocketed, and had not subsided until now. As the new anchor of Whale TV, in the absence of Lu Chen's on-site host, his live broadcast room actually rushed to the homepage list, which can really be said to be a miracle. After Li Feiyu finished explaining, he proudly shouted, "Long live Lu Jiejun!" To be able to win such a result, Lu Chen's fish fan group, Lu Jiejun, absolutely contributed. Li Bai alone rewarded 15 fish balls, which drove the atmosphere of the entire live broadcast room. Because the live broadcast was always going on, although the camera was facing the direction of the stage, the microphone was omnidirectional. Therefore, the dialogue between the two was clearly heard by the fans in the live broadcast room. "Anchor, is the anchor back? I heard the voice of the anchor. It's Lu Fei da. Long live Lu Jiejun. Anchor big, I want to see your face. The anchor is handsome, really handsome. I saw the performance of the anchor just now. Those two songs were so good. I want to listen to it again. Listen to it twice. 3 times. When Lu Chen saw it, he immediately adjusted the camera and microphone. He waved to the camera and said, "Hello everyone, I am Anchor Lu Fei. Welcome to my live broadcast room. I hope you like my songs and this music carnival performance. At the same time, I also thank everyone for their support. Thank you very much." As soon as his voice fell, the screen was instantly filled with enthusiastic barrage, accompanied by countless fish balls. Like. The music carnival is great. I really want to see it live. Anchor, you're welcome. Take the fish balls. I just want to hear Lu Fei to sing. I like it too. System notification. Call me Li Bai Silver 4. Gifted the Anchor 1 aircraft carrier. System notification. Big Brother Whale Gold 6. Gifted the Anchor 1 aircraft carrier. In the hustle and bustle, the 2 aircraft carriers rumbled and crushed all the barrage, bringing a screen full of fireworks, as if to celebrate the success of Lu Chen. 2 familiar nouveau riche friends. Lu Chen looked at the number of fish balls and found that the increase of fish balls tonight was more than 40. It was really normal to be on the homepage's hot list. He quickly expressed his gratitude to the 2 nouveau riches. Although it was a bit vulgar, it was also sincere. The live broadcast ended at 11 o'clock in the evening. This real live broadcast brought great popularity to Lu Fei's live broadcast room. By the end of the live broadcast, the highest number of online popularity had climbed to more than 350,000. The number of fish fans was more than 180,000. And the number of new fish balls was 45 fish balls. According to the 65% after-tax share, then Lu Chen earned nearly 30,000 yuan in the evening. In addition to the fish balls accumulated some time ago, he directly withdrew 50,000 yuan in cash. The 50,000 yuan signing fee of Whale TV had been received, and the two added up to 100,000 yuan. Then he sold the song for 200,000 yuan. Lu Chen could transfer 300,000 yuan to his home tomorrow. In the past, he would have to work hard for at least 4 or 5 years to earn this kind of money. Now it was less than half a month. Lu Chen turned off the computer, stood up and said, "Let's go. Let's go for supper. There will be enough spicy crayfish." 3 basins. Li Feiyu raised 3 fingers and said proudly, "I want to eat at least 3 basins." Lu Chen laughed. "As long as you can eat it, 30 basins is no problem." In his mind, an incomparably loud and majestic song suddenly rang out. "I'm making money, I'm making money, I don't know how to spend it. I buy a Nokia with my left hand and a Motorola with my right. I change my mobile phone number every day with my little smartphone. I sit in a Mercedes-Benz and drive a BMW. I'm making money, I'm making money." Stop. Lu Chen shivered and quickly dispelled the distracting thoughts in his mind. He took his equipment and went for supper with Li Feiyu. Walking south of Hohai's pedestrian street, after crossing a crossroad, there was a small street that was filled with the style of the old capital. Various kinds of snacks were its biggest specialty, and even though it was almost midnight, it was still bustling with people. The Jiaji crayfish restaurant was on the small street. Its main dish was shui crayfish, which was very famous. When Lu Chen and Li Feiyu went in, the restaurant was almost full of people. Business was very good. The two of them were lucky enough to grab a seat in the corner of the hall, and ordered a 3 prawns don't exchange. A plate of spicy crayfish, a plate of braised crayfish, a plate of salt and pepper crayfish, and 2 jugs of iced beer. They wouldn't exchange it even for a deity. Lu Chen and Li Feiyu didn't waste any time, and directly started eating. After finishing 2 plates of crayfish and 2 jugs of beer, Li Feiyu touched his oily mouth and said, "De Chun, your broadcast is very strong. It's time to show off your skills. It's not suitable to continue living in a basement." Lu Chen nodded and said, "Yeah, I'm also considering changing to a smaller apartment. How about we share it?" The basement he was currently living in was too simple. It was hot in the summer, and there wasn't any heating in the winter. Furthermore, there wasn't much privacy to speak of. He had to worry about affecting his neighbors during his live broadcast at night. Lu Chen's lease was going to end this month. If Li Feiyu didn't mention it, he would have thought about changing. "My lease is until next year. Also, the renovation costs quite a bit." Li Feiyu shook his head and said, "Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about you. Xiaomei's sister has a single apartment. She wants to rent it out. The location and environment are pretty good. The apartment is also new. Are you interested?" Lu Chen laughed. "Since it's Sister Xiaomei, I definitely have to go take a look." Li Feiyu giggled. Chapter 46. Early in the morning, the bell rang, got up, dressed, washed on Sunday morning. When most people were still in dreamland, Lu Chen woke up early as usual, and began a new busy day in the misty morning light. He sweated for 2 hours in the park by the artificial river, and ate a hearty breakfast to replenish enough water and nutrition, just in time for the opening of the nearby bank. Lu Chen transferred the 300,000 yuan in his account to the account that could not be more familiar. As soon as he stepped out of the bank, the phone in his pocket rang. Lu Chen immediately picked it up. "Mom, I was just about to call you." A familiar voice came from the other end of the phone. "Little Chen, did you transfer the money? Where did you get so much money?" There was uncontrollable anxiety in the voice, as well as concern and worry from the bottom of his heart. Lu Chen said with a smile, "Of course I earned it." It was his mother, Fang Yun, who called Lu Chen. Fang Yun was an ordinary accountant in the local taxation bureau of Binhai City, Zhejiang Province. After the death of Lu Chen's father, she strongly took up the burden of the family that had lost its backbone. Lu Chen went to the capital to work. Every month he would transfer money to Fang Yun's account, and let Fang Yun arrange to repay those creditors. Although it was not much, at least it would not make people lose hope. These creditors were all Lu Qingxing's relatives, friends, classmates, and clients when he was alive. Many of them had lent out their life savings out of kinship, trust, and friendship. If there was no hope of returning the money, then the Lu family would forever bear the heavy responsibility. Lu Qingxing died, and what he left to his family was a huge debt that could not be repaid. Lu Chen had been angry, painful, desperate, and lost because of this, but he finally survived and saw the dawn. Just like now, the warm sunlight shone through the leaves of the sycamore tree, shining on his body and face. Fang Yun said eagerly, "You child, tell me the truth." It had been almost a year since Lu Chen left the university to work in Beijing. In order to save money, he did not go home during the Chinese New Year. How could Fang Yun not miss him? Now that Lu Chen suddenly transferred 300,000 yuan to her, her first reaction when she saw the message was not joy, but panic and fear. She was afraid that Lu Chen had done something bad. Otherwise, how could he earn 300,000 yuan? Lu Chen said, "Mom, open your Feb and you'll understand." He had already predicted this situation yesterday, so he took a picture of the contract signed with Light Rain Media and Chen Jianhao, and sent it to Fang Yun after transferring the money. After 5 minutes, Fang Yun finally confirmed that her son had not done anything illegal in the capital. Lu Chen earned so much money by writing songs and singing. He even owned 5% of a bar's shares. She was surprised and proud. She sighed with emotion and finally said, "When are you coming home?" Lu Chen thought for a moment and said, "I'll be back in early June, and I still have to go to school to attend the graduation ceremony. By the way, Mom, tell sister, don't let her go to work. Let her stay at home and prepare for the exams in December." Lu Chen's sister, Lu Shi, had always been excellent in her studies. She was recommended for postgraduate studies before graduating from university, but because of the changes in her family, she had to give up her postgraduate studies to work to earn money. Lu Chen knew that Lu Shi's dream since childhood was to get a PhD. She also had the ability to do so, so it was still not too late. Don't let her worry about the family's debt. I can pay it off in 3 years at most. Lu Chen made a bold statement. He really had this kind of confidence. Fang Yin was not optimistic. "I'll try. You know your sister's temper. She is as stubborn as your father." Lu Chen hurriedly said, "Let her come to Beijing too." Lu Chen was already prepared to develop in Beijing for a long time. If there was a family member by his side, that would naturally be the best. After ending the call with his mother, Lu Chen returned to his underground dwelling. Li Feiyu had already woken up. He was standing at the door holding the phone. When he saw Lu Chen return, he immediately felt relieved. "I was just about to call you. Xiao Mei and the others are already waiting at Guangyuan building. I'll leave after I change my clothes." Lu Chen quickly ran into his room and changed into a set of clean clothes, which was a t-shirt, jeans, and a pair of casual shoes. Then he followed Li Feiyu out of the house and took a taxi to Guangyuan building. Guangyuan building was less than 5 minutes away from Lu Chen's rented place. At the entrance of the building, Lu Chen finally saw the legendary sister Xiao Mei. Actually, he had seen Xiao Mei's photo before, but this was the first time he saw her in person. Xiao Mei was very young and beautiful. She was petite and cute, but her makeup was a bit too thick. Her friend had the temperament of a businesswoman. She wore a white short skirt and had long hair that fell over her shoulders. She carried her handbag and held onto her phone. She looked a bit shrewd. Sorry. Li Feiyu repeatedly apologized. "I've made the two beauties wait for a long time. I'm really sorry." Xiao Mei rolled her eyes and snorted. She had a "I'm very unhappy" expression on her face. However, her friend was very understanding. She smiled and tried to smooth things over. "It's all right. We just arrived. Is this handsome guy looking to rent a place?" Her gaze fell on Lu Chen. Her eyes revealed a bit of curiosity. Yes. Li Feiyu quickly nodded and introduced. "This is my good brother Lu Chen. De Chen, let me introduce you. This is Chen Xiao Mei, and this is her friend Zhang Ying." Lu Chen smiled and said, "I've long heard of Sister Xiao Mei's name. Today, I finally get to see you in person." A handsome guy was a handsome guy. Especially a tall and witty guy like Lu Chen. He was usually liked by people. Especially when he smiled, it was full of sunshine. It made people unconsciously have a good impression of him. Sister Xiao Mei really had a good impression of him. She pursed her lips and said, "I know you. Li Feiyu has mentioned you many times." Lu Chen said, "Li Gu is a warm-hearted person. Let's go see the house first." The house was located a few hundred meters away from Guangyuan building in Jinchungyuan. The size of Jinchungyuan was not large. It had 9 independent small high-rise buildings. However, the facilities in the community were very complete. The green area reached at least 50%. The property management was very strict. Visitors had to register when entering and leaving. The surrounding environment was even better. It was adjacent to the business district. A few minutes walk to the nearest subway station. Zhang Ying's house was Building 7, room 1502. It was a standard single apartment with 1 bedroom, 1 living room and a kitchen. The area of the apartment was about 35 square meters. It was well decorated and fully equipped with appliances. It looked completely new. The interior was very clean. At least, Lu Chen could not find any problems. This single apartment was rented by Zhang Ying 2 years ago. She signed a 5-year long-term contract. She spent money to renovate the apartment and equipped it with a full set of appliances and furniture. Sister Xiao Mei's friend was a cosmetics agent in the capital. Now the competition in the capital was too fierce. So, she was going back to her hometown to open a brand store. This apartment naturally became a problem. The cost of breaking the contract was too high. Subletting was undoubtedly the best choice. However, the current agents were not reliable. In order to avoid trouble, Zhang Ying sent a message on her WeChat Moments to look for a rental apartment. In the end, she found Lu Chen. As for the rental price, Zhang Ying said straightforwardly, "Since you are Li Ji's friend, then I will be straightforward. 5,000 yuan per month. You can use all the appliances and furniture for free. Water, electricity, heating and broadband will be paid by you." It was not easy to live in the capital. The housing prices in the capital were the highest in the country. Although this single apartment was small, it could not be bought without 2 million yuan. It was fully renovated with a full set of appliances. 5,000 yuan per month was the normal price. Lu Chen thought for a moment and said, "For 1,000 yuan. I will sign with you for 3 years. How about paying half a year's rent first?" He wanted to sign the rest of Zhang Ying's lease. Naturally, they had to negotiate the price. Of course, Zhang Ying was willing to sign all of it. However, she was a shrewd businesswoman. It was impossible for her to accept Lu Chen's offer. Both sides bargained back and forth. Finally, they settled on 4,500 yuan per month. Then, Zhang Ying gave the 90% new computer in her living room to Lu Chen as a bonus. Both Lu Chen and Zhang Ying were very satisfied with this deal. After the two of them negotiated, they went to a nearby printing shop to print the contract. They signed the contract on the spot. It did not take long for Lu Chen to rent the new apartment. At the same time, he emptied his pocket. Chapter 47. Zhang Ying invited them to lunch. The location was a Sichuan restaurant in Jingtai Commercial City near Jincheng Garden. Zhang Ying came from Sichuan. She had the straightforwardness and shrewdness of Sichuan people. She was also smart in the capital. She came to the capital at the age of 19 and drifted in the capital for 5 years. Although she was not successful, she had opened up her own career. At least compared with Li Feiyu, Chen Xiaomei, and Lu Chen half a month ago, she was doing very well. But although the capital was good, it was not her home. So this meal was also a farewell meal. After dealing with the house, Zhang Ying would go home. Li Feiyu and Chen Xiaomei were a little sad. The latter even had red eyes and was very reluctant to leave. Zhang Ying hugged her little sister and said, "Xiaomei, if you miss me, come to Chengdu. And Li Gu is really good. If he is willing to work hard, you can also give him a chance." Her voice was not soft, so Lu Chen and Li Feiyu, who were standing next to her, heard it clearly. The latter's face suddenly turned red, and could not help but look at Chen Xiaomei with hot eyes. Everyone could see his feelings for Xiaomei. Chen Xiaomei said shyly, "Don't mention him. If he wants to chase me, he has to show some real ability." Zhang Ying smiled and hugged her. She said to Lu Chen, "Handsome, I will leave with Xiaomei first. If there is anything, you can call me. If there is nothing, you can chat with me." Lu Chen smiled and said, "I wish you a safe journey." The landlord of the new house lived abroad and basically did not come back. Zhang Ying first signed a lease with the landlord's agent in China. As long as the rent and property fees were paid on time, there would be no problem. Of course, the two of them exchanged contact information. Zhang Ying and Chen Xiaomei left. Li Feiyu looked at their backs and was stunned. Lu Chen patted him on the shoulder and said, "Don't look anymore. There's still a chance. Help me move first." In fact, Lu Chen really wanted to tell Peter Pan that his chances of chasing after Xiaomei were really very small, but people always had something to pursue in life. Whether it was pursuing a career or a girlfriend, it was better to have a goal than to be muddle-headed. Moving was actually very simple. The apartment was fully furnished. All he had to do was change the door lock. Originally, Lu Chen wanted to call a locksmith to install the locks, but he didn't expect Li Feiyu to volunteer, and actually bought the locks himself, saving Lu Chen at least 100 yuan in service fees. Jingming community was a little more troublesome. Lu Chen had to find the landlord to cancel the lease and get his deposit back. A basement rental with a good location like this was very popular in Beijing. There was no need to worry about not being able to rent it out. Lu Chen had also returned the rental in advance, so the landlord did not make things difficult for him. As for luggage, in addition to a few clothes and a few books, Lu Chen only had the broken computer. The new house already had a new computer. This old computer should be retired. However, Li Feiyu was well informed. He helped Lu Chen find a tenant in the same community. 450 yuan, along with the mouse and keyboard, was given to the other party. Let this old computer continue to play its residual heat. Lu Chen did not accept the money. He added 150 yuan to make up 600 yuan. He asked Li Feiyu to go to Master Chen's private kitchen to book a table and set meal. In the evening, he invited his neighbors to dinner. During this time, Lu Chen's live broadcast at night inevitably affected the neighbors who lived in the basement. Although no one said anything to him, he still felt a little embarrassed and took the opportunity to make up for it. As long as anyone was at home and was willing to come, he would invite them all. While Li Feiyu invited people to order food, Lu Chen ran to the nearby shopping mall and bought a lot of new daily necessities for himself, such as bedsheets, pillows, towels, bath towels, toothpaste, toothbrushes and so on, and put them in his new home. In the morning, he had transferred 300,000 yuan to his family, and then paid another 30,000 yuan to rent the apartment. Now with all his expenses, his bank account, Ifubao, and the money in his pocket did not even add up to 1,000 yuan. Overnight, he was back to square one. But Lu Chen did not mind at all. He was full of confidence in his future. Dinner was also considered a farewell meal, but the target was different. The table for 12 people was filled to the brim. Those who could come were all here. Except for Li Fei, they were all Lu Chen's neighbors. There were 11 men and 11 women. They were all seated after adding seats. In the past, everyone just nodded at each other and didn't have much to say when they met. Today, Lu Chen was treating them to dinner, so everyone opened up a conversation. No matter if they were familiar with each other or not, they all had a good chat. When they learned that Lu Chen was moving to Jincheng, they were all very envious and congratulated him. Being able to move out of the basement and live in a single apartment with a high rent was already considered a success for many Beijing drifters. The dinner was very lively. It ended at 8 p.m., and 3 boxes of beer were finished. Li Feiyu was obviously a little drunk. His eyes were wide open and his voice was trembling. After Lu Chen paid the bill, he sent him back to his home. As a result, this guy lay on the bed and fell asleep. When Lu Chen returned to his new home, it was already 9 p.m. The new house was very clean, and there was still the smell left by the previous owner. It was the smell of a woman mixed with perfume. In the bathroom, there was a new toothbrush and toothbrush that he just bought, and a new towel and bath towel. Lu Chen first took a hot bath, and then lay comfortably on the bed with new sheets. Gazing at the beautiful patterns on the metal ceiling, he felt a little surreal. It was as if he had returned to a few years ago, when Lu Chen's father hadn't passed away, and his family was still very well off. The room he lived in was bigger than this, and the decorations were more exquisite and luxurious. He closed his eyes, and after a while, he opened them again. The scene was still the same. It really wasn't a dream. The phone on the bedside table suddenly rang. Lu Chen suddenly woke up, quickly turned over, grabbed the cell phone, and pressed the call button. Hello. The voice coming from the phone was very strange. Hello, is this Mr. Lu Chen? Lu Chen didn't look at the phone, and he couldn't tell who it was. He couldn't help but ask, Yes, and you are? Hello, Mr. Lu Chen. The other party said, I'm Wu Shanshan from Whale TV, also known as Coral Fish. Lu Chen suddenly realized, Hello, it turns out to be Miss Wu. What's the matter? When Lu Chen was kicked out of Starlight Show, this Coral Fish invited him to join Whale TV and gave him a formal contract with a signing fee of 50,000 yuan. For Lu Chen at that time, it could really be said to be charcoal in snowy weather, and Lu Chen has always been grateful. Now his career as an anchor at Whale TV is thriving, and the other party's support and help is also a factor. Lu Chen and Wu Shanshan have always been in contact, but they basically chat on QQ. Wu Shanshan said, It's not convenient on the phone. Can we talk on QQ? Lu Chen quickly replied, No problem, please wait a moment. He got up and left the bedroom and ran into the living room. The living room area of this single apartment is not much bigger than the bedroom, so there is only a simple 3-person sofa and a computer desk. The large-screen LCD TV is hung on the wall, and the space is already full. The desktop computer was also left by Zhang Ying and was sold to Lu Chen at a discount. At that time, Lu Chen did not open it. He just saw that the screen case, keyboard and mouse were very new, and it was a famous brand product, so he agreed to buy it for 3,000 yuan. Plus the rent, it was 30,000 yuan. Zhang Ying did not ask Lu Chen to pay a deposit, so he was embarrassed to continue to bargain. After turning on the computer, the system startup speed was very fast, and in less than 10 seconds, it entered the desktop. Lu Chen immediately knew that 3,000 yuan was absolutely not a loss, but out of habit, he still checked the configuration. What the hell? Lu Chen was dumbfounded. The configuration of this computer is very high. It belongs to the mainstream flagship level. It has a 6-core ultra-high-frequency CPU, 32 GB of memory, 1 TB SSD solid-state hard disk, and the graphics card is also the latest generation. It can play all the games on the market. Lu Chen studied computer application in university. Some time ago, he also thought about replacing the old computer, so he knows computer hardware very well. He knows that even if all the online accessories are installed by himself, it will be impossible to take it down without 15,000 plus. The 27-inch monitor is a high-end product with 2K resolution. He suddenly remembered that Zhang Ying mentioned that this computer was given to her by someone else, and she has not used it much. Lu Chen was speechless. Dare I ask which local tyrant it is? Finally, he did not forget his business. He opened QQ and logged in, so as not to let Wu Shanshan wait for a long time. Chapter 48. Coralfish has been waiting on QQ for a long time. She sent several messages to Lu Chen, and waited for Lu Chen's reply before calling. What Wu Shanshan and Lu Chen want to discuss is a good thing. Whale TV is going to hold a competition in the near future. The rewards are very generous. And as a representative of the new anchors, Lu Chen is also among the invitees. That's right, Lu Chen is now the #1 among the new anchors of Whale TV. In less than half a month, he has jumped from a pure newcomer anchor to a leader in Whale TV. Without the strong recommendation of the website, he has created the record of the largest increase in popularity. The amount of rewards has reached new highs, and he has a large number of loyal fans. Although Lu Chen's number of fish fans and online viewers are still far from being comparable to several big anchors, his growth rate is too astonishing. Moreover, he did not rely on the bad means of surfing the rankings. Therefore, he has received the attention of Whale TV. In particular, last night's live broadcast of the Music Carnival, Lu Fei's live broadcast room rushed to the homepage's hot list, which caused a small sensation in the operations management department. Wu Shanshan also watched the whole live broadcast. Based on the above factors, Lu Chen has become one of the 24 candidates for the competition. It should be known that those who are eligible to be selected are all popular anchors of Whale TV. Some of them have more than 1 million popularity, some have signing fees as high as 1 million, and some are senior in the industry. There are only 4 newcomers like Lu Chen who have just joined. Lu Chen is undoubtedly the most junior. The name of this competition is called Whale PK Theme Show. Wu Shanshan said to Lu Chen, "The format is very simple. The competition anchor will choose a theme show and perform it live within 90 minutes. Finally, based on the popularity index, audience votes, and the bureau's score, the 5 winners will be decided." Lu Chen replied, "It looks interesting. Do I have to think of the contents of the theme show myself?" Wu Shanshan, "That's right. Nostalgic, sad, humorous, inspirational, and so on are all fine, but they must have a clear theme. Because when the time comes, they will all be advertised on the homepage. The more eye-catching the theme, the better. Of course, the prerequisite is that they can't violate the rules, or else they will be disqualified." Lu Chen had completely understood. "Understood. Thank you, Sister Shanshan." Wu Shanshan, *___**. You're welcome. I signed you. The more outstanding your performance is, the more glorious it will be for me, so you must work hard. If there's anything you don't understand, just ask me. Luchin. What are the rewards for the top 5? He definitely couldn't miss such an event, but he was more concerned about the rewards for the website. Only with rewards would there be motivation. Wu Shanshan. The prize for the PK champion is 300,000 yuan, and the most popular anchor on the front page will be pushed 3 times. The prize for the PK runner-up is 200,000 yuan and 2 pushes. The prize for the 3rd place is 100,000 yuan and 1 push. The prize for the 4th and 5th place is 50,000 yuan. Whale TV really has a lot of money to spend. Luchin was very excited when he saw it. When will the event be held? Wu Shanshan. I forgot to say the most important thing. The Whale PK theme show will be held on May 30th, that is from 8 to 10 o'clock next Saturday evening, but you have to send me the theme content before the 29th. Remember to warm up in advance and let all fans know that you are participating in this event. Luchin. Okay. After talking with Wu Shanshan, Luchin began to reply to many messages on QQ. Tonight, Luchin did not open a live broadcast. Although he had already announced it in the live broadcast room and the group, there were still many enthusiastic fans who sent letters to inquire with concern. He replied to all that he could. While replying to the message, Luchin was also thinking about what theme he would use to participate in the PK show. He already had a preliminary idea in his mind. After dealing with the QQ messages and emails, it was already past 10 o'clock in the evening. Luchin turned off his computer and hurried out of his new residence. He stopped the taxi and rushed to the bar. His current performance time at Forget Grass Bar has been postponed to about 11 o'clock in the evening, so as to avoid conflict with the live broadcast and ensure that both can be taken into account. Of course, Luchin knows very well that he won't have much time to stay and Forget Grass Bar. The world there is too small. It's so small that it can't accommodate his ambition at all. But tonight is very important, and Luchin doesn't want to be late. Today is Sunday, and the business in Forget Grass Bar is still very good in the evening. All the tables are full of guests, and even the front of the bar is crowded. It looks very lively. On the stage, there is a female singer singing folk songs. The song is a familiar old song, and the person's face is very strange. Luchin knows that this is the singer who came to Forget Grass Bar for the first time. The singers who mix in the bar, even the contracted singers, will often come and go. Communication in this circle is very important. Otherwise, there are only a few familiar faces coming and going, and even the most loyal customers will be tired and aesthetically tired. Oh, our boss Xiaolu is here. Luchin was just about to slip into the backstage. He didn't expect to be seen by David, who was mixing drinks for the guests. The guy immediately shouted in a strange voice, causing the customers sitting in front of the bar to turn their heads and look. It's really Xiaolu. Now it should be Boss Xiaolu, hee. Boss Xiaolu, I watched your performance live yesterday. Your 2 new songs were really good. We should ask Boss Xiaolu to give us a discount. Xiaolu. Most of the people who like to stay in front of the bar are old drivers. Most of them know Luchin and joked with David. Everyone please spare this kid. Luchin didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he stared at David. He then bowed to the old customers and begged for mercy. I'll treat everyone to a drink. In the future, just call me Xiaolu. I really don't deserve to be called a boss. He didn't expect that the news of him obtaining shares of Forget Grass Bar would spread so quickly. Now everyone knows about it. It should be David's big mouth that spread it. In fact, Luchin only holds 5% of the shares. He can barely be considered as a small shareholder. Qin Hanyang and Sister Na also have some shares of Forget Grass Bar, but it is a non-transferable bonus share. The old drivers got the benefits and happily let Luchin go. The big room backstage of Forget Grass Bar was also very lively. Other than Sister Na, Li Hong, Yi Zhenyang and Wang Xiaoshui, the members of the Bionics who rarely come out of their small room were also there. There were also many others who came to run the show. Xiaolu is here. Seeing Luchin come in, Sister Na was the first to express a warm welcome. Everyone is waiting for you. Luchin smiled and said, I moved today, so I came a bit late. I didn't miss Sister Na's first song, right? Tonight, Sister Na will sing the song he wrote for himself for the first time. Originally, the first song was scheduled for yesterday's music festival, but because the North Needle Band gave up performing after Lu Chin, Sister Na temporarily changed the song. She didn't want to take away the glory that belonged to Lu Chin. Therefore, this new song that she prepared for a long time was placed in the Forget Grass bar tonight. Sister Na complained. If you don't come, how can I sing? If you're not here, I can't even open my mouth, ha ha ha. As she spoke, she began to laugh. She laughed very happily. The others, regardless of whether they were familiar with him or not, all greeted Lu Chin enthusiastically or politely. After experiencing last night's Light Blue Music Festival, Lu Chin has already become famous in the circle of Hohai. His outstanding singing ability has gained everyone's recognition. His status has undoubtedly exceeded that of ordinary singers. Young and talented, who wouldn't want to be friends with such a person? Among the people present, only Yi Zhenyang didn't dare to speak much with Lu Chin. His polite words were dry. Those who didn't know would think that the two of them didn't know each other. Their eyes flashed with a guilty conscience. Lu Chin was very clear about the other party's ulterior motives, but he was too lazy to care about it. If in the past, Lu Chin would still envy Yi Zhenyang, then now he can completely ignore the other party. As for the little tricks that Yi Zhenyang invited people to play at Light Blue Music Festival, not only did it not affect Lu Chin, it instead made him full of fighting spirit, and he displayed 100% of his strength on the stage. Yi Zhenyang was just a villain in vain. Lu Chin's vision has long been set on a wider world. Chapter 49. At 12 o'clock in the evening, many people were already in dreamland. But for the other group of people, their nightlife had just begun. After the magic show ended, Sister Na stepped onto the stage. The stage of Forget Grass bar wasn't big. She couldn't count how many times she had sung on it. Even with her eyes closed, she could still stand in a familiar position. However, tonight, Sister Na was particularly excited. It was like the first time she went on a date with a boy. Even if the result wasn't perfect, the process was undoubtedly worth remembering. Facing more than 200 customers in the bar, both acquaintances and strangers, she clenched the microphone in her hand. For this debut, Sister Na had made a lot of preparations. She had rehearsed with the Bionics again and again. Although Dachin was very supportive and didn't mind, she really felt that she couldn't let her friends down. Therefore, she would never allow herself to sing badly. Behind Sister Na, Qin Hanyang was bringing the Bionics on stage. They were also going to accompany Sister Na's performance. Finally, it was Lu Chen's turn. Before rushing to the Forget Worries bar, Lu Chen never thought that Qin Hanyang would leave a place for him when arranging the music. The guitar accompaniment of the two bars was very simple and light, but the meaning was completely different. It was a surprise. Pa, pa, pa. Before Sister Na started singing, warm applause sounded in the bar first. Among the people who came to Forget Grass bar tonight, many of them knew and were familiar with Sister Na's old customers, and many of them were her friends in the circle. Everyone already knew that she was going to sing a new song. Come on, Sister Na. Enthusiastic shouts and loud whistles followed, easily pushing the atmosphere to a climax. This also caused Sister Na's eyes to be filled with sparkling tears. She was a veteran who had experienced the ups and downs of life. Normally, she wouldn't be easily moved by something. Thank you everyone. Sister Na took a deep breath, then raised the microphone and said, I'm very happy that so many friends came to support me tonight. I'm really happy. I'll first bring Thank You to everyone. Thank You was a light rock song that was very popular in China in the early 1990s. The melody was passionate and full of passion and vitality. The lyrics were positive and sunny, containing the power of hard work. The charm of a classic would not easily fade with time. Instead, it would become more mellow and touching. This song had been covered countless times. It could often be heard in the bars of Hohai, and there were many different versions. Lu Chen had also played and sung Thank You here. Sister Na's singing style was completely different from his. Under the accompaniment of the Bionics, she dug out the inner spirit of the song incisively and vividly, using her unique voice to sing a real rock and roll flavor. Thank you for accompanying me for every minute of my life. Thank you for giving me sunshine and strength. Thank you for supporting me without any complaints or regrets. You helped me escape from the darkness and made me no longer a coward. Thank you." When the song ended, the audience burst into thunderous applause. Although it was a warm-up song, Sister Na performed very well. Her skills and emotions were very good, showing her deep foundation and experience. She was worthy of her position as the big sister of the Forget Grass Bar singers. Many of the customers present were knowledgeable about music. Naturally, they would not be stingy with their applause. Thank you. After singing thank you, Sister Na bowed to everyone to thank them. When the applause subsided, she continued, "Next, I will sing the second song. I believe many of you already know that it will be a new song. A new song that I have been preparing for a long time. And this song was specially written for me by our music genius Lu Chun." Sister Na turned around and looked at Lu Chun, who was sitting with the bionics, with a trace of gratitude in her eyes. Music genius was a new nickname for Lu Chun that had just spread in the circle of Hohai. The circle of Hohai was not big, so news often spread quickly. The 2 original works he sang at the music carnival were sold at an astonishing high price, and it had already spread throughout the circle. In addition, Lu Chun had been singing "You Who Sat Next to Me" and "Cinderella" in Forget Grass Bar. Sister Na added another sentence. "To be precise, it should be our handsome little genius. Xiao Lu, handsome genius." Applause and laughter sounded at the same time. Lu Chun stood up with his guitar in embarrassment and waved to everyone. "Don't tease the handsome guy anymore. I'm not the main character tonight." The next moment, the prelude quietly sounded. The spotlight on the stage shone on Sister Na, making her the focus of the audience. The name of this song is "I Want to Have a Home." She faced the audience and stopped smiling. She half closed her eyes and quietly listened to the prelude that had just begun. Then, very naturally, she opened her mouth and sang the song that she had practiced countless times. "I want to have a home, a place that doesn't need to be gorgeous. When I am tired, I will think of it. I want to have a home, a place that doesn't need to be big. When I am scared, I will not be afraid." The beautiful and moving melody, straightforward and realistic lyrics, coupled with the just right arrangement, under the perfect interpretation of Sister Na's unique voice, it was like flowing water in everyone's heart, touching the soul. Who doesn't want a home, but some people don't have it? Tears flowing down his face, he can only wipe it gently by himself. I envy him so much. He can go home after he is injured, and I can only be alone looking for my home. Tears once again appeared in Sister Na's eyes. She closed her eyes, afraid to shed tears. Happy families are always similar. Unfortunate families have their own misfortunes. Sister Na's family is undoubtedly one of the most unfortunate. She drifted away from home when she was young, and has never returned home for more than 20 years. Because that home no longer exists, it belongs to a distant memory that she wants to forget. However, in the depths of her heart, how could she not desire to have a real home of her own? Tears still uncontrollably flowed down, but the accompaniment and singing became high-spirited and fierce. "Although I don't have a warm home, but I also gradually grow up. As long as the heart is full of love, will be cared for. Who can't blame? Everything can only rely on oneself. Although you have a home and you don't lack anything, why can't I see your smiling face? Always say there is no love. Don't go home all day, the same age, different hearts. Let me have a home." While singing and venting her emotions, Sister Na resisted looking at someone who was sitting in the audience at this moment, because she was afraid that her eyes would expose her heart, and she was afraid of the pain of being rejected. She has been rejected too many times. Under her strong and optimistic appearance, hidden is a fragile and sensitive heart. After the first song, applause sounded again, neat and warm. Many people stood up and applauded hard, and even tears appeared in some people's eyes. They are all like Sister Na, drifting in the capital for many years. Although some people have already achieved a career, some people have an annual salary of hundreds of thousands, can afford to live in apartments, hotels, and car loans. But they have lived in the basement, used to be crowded in the subway, used to rely on instant noodles to survive day after day, faced countless difficulties and setbacks, and in the increasingly heavy work and entertainment, numb like walking corpses. At that time, even now, they also longed to have a warm home, longed to have a considerate and kind husband or a gentle and beautiful wife, and an obedient and sensible child, can go out and play happily with the family on weekends. No matter what they experience outside, home will always be a peaceful harbor, a holy place for healing. This song, I Want to Have a Home, sings the voice of everyone, causing a resonance from the soul. They feel the same, they can't help but feel. I want to have a home, a place that doesn't need to be gorgeous. Lu Chen sat on the piano stool, holding the guitar and looking at Sister Na on the stage, but his mind flew thousands of miles away. At this moment he missed his home. Note: I Want to Have a Home lyrics/composer, Pan Meichen. Chapter 50. After singing, I Want to Have a Home for the second time, Sister Na was already in tears. When she sang the last two sentences, her voice was trembling, but it contained a heart-wrenching power. Whether it was familiar or unfamiliar customers, friends in the circle or bar staff, they all stood up and applauded Sister Na. There was no cheering, no noise, just applause. The pure and warm applause penetrated the doors and windows of the bar, and passed to the pedestrian street outside, causing several passers-by to look back, not knowing what happened inside. Qin Hanyang put down the electric guitar in his hand, got up and strode over, opening his arms and hugging Sister Na. "Good singing," he said loudly. "Great." Sister Na hugged Qin Hanyang back, put her chin on his shoulder, and wiped her tears on his t-shirt. Her face showed a smile. "Thank you." Qin Hanyang patted her back, released his embrace and stepped back. Then Lu Chen came up and hugged Sister Na. "Sister Na is mighty." Sister Na laughed with tears. "Nonsense." Then the drummer, keyboardist, bass player of the Bionics. Everyone hugged again and again, not only to congratulate her on the success of her first song, but also to express their support. The applause in the bar never stopped, and it reached a climax when Sister Na hugged all the band members and bowed to them to thank them. Someone shouted, "Sing it again." Sister Na reached out to wipe the tears from the corner of her eyes, smiled and said, "Thank you so much everyone. I can only sing this song once tonight, but I have signed a contract with Light Rain Media. After the single is released, I will give everyone here a copy, okay? Sister Na is going to release a single?" Hearing this, everyone was stunned for a moment before they cheered one after another. Although it is not a real album, being able to sign a contract with a media company to release a single is already a dream for many singers. Of course, it is worth being happy. As Sister Na's friends, they are honored. "Congratulations, Sister Na." Lu Chen was the first to congratulate Sister Na. He also just learned the news. Sister Na said, "Xiao Lu, thank you so much." What Lu Chen gave her was not only a good song, but also a chance for her to realize her dream. In the Forget Grass Bar, it was a sleepless night. Time slipped away unknowingly, and the weather in the capital became hotter and hotter. In the blink of an eye, it was already the end of May. It had been almost a week since the Light Blue Music Festival, and Lu Chen's life had changed a lot. First of all, he moved to a new house and owned a comfortable single apartment. The quality of his life had obviously improved. After that, Lu Chen spent more time and energy on his webcasting career. Naturally, the number of times he went to Forget Grass Bar at night decreased. It was more like he went there for a guest appearance. Chen Jinhao had no opinion on this. After all, Lu Chen was now a small shareholder of the bar, and the bar's business was better now. There were a lot of singers who came to perform and stay, and many of them came for Lu Chen. Relying on Chen Jinhao's connections, Sister Na and the Bionics were successful in signing with Light Rain Media. However, the contract signed by the two was a short-term cooperation. The focus was on the two songs, I Want to Have a Home, and In the Spring. At that time, Sister Na and the Bionics would be a group to carry out packaging and publicity, and release a single and mini-album. As for Lu Chen himself, there was a management company and an entertainment company that came to his door. They both wanted to sign Lu Chen, but the scale of the two companies was small, and the contract also had a lot of restrictions. How could Lu Chen be willing to sign? So he politely declined, saying that if there was a chance in the future, everyone could cooperate. Even if the business couldn't be done, there was no need to be unhappy. In this regard, thanks to the experience of the 3 memories in the dream, Luchin handled it well and didn't offend anyone. As for the singers in the circle, when Luchin performed at Forget Worries Bar, there were a lot of people who came over to get close to him, but no one asked or bought songs from Luchin. Basically, they were all familiar faces. In fact, this was very normal. Although Luchin showed amazing talent, whether it was You Who Sat Next to Me, Cinderella, or In the Spring, Blue Lotus, I Want to Have a Home, they could all be regarded as masterpieces or even classics. But his works, after all, have not passed the test of the market. It was useless to just praise it in the circle. Moreover, the price of a work was so expensive, how many singers would be willing to take a gamble? As for this, Luchin had already expected it. He wasn't in a hurry, and waited for the 3 songs to go on the market. Speaking of which, it was very interesting. Back then, Su Qingmei wanted to sign him, but was rejected by him. Now the 3 songs that he had sold were all managed by Light Rain Media. Light Rain Media is a new company in the industry. It doesn't lack background and contacts. What it lacks is experience and heritage. In addition, the promotion and publicity of a song is not a simple matter. Therefore, if Luchin wants to use the east wind of Light Rain Media to make his reputation, he needs to wait patiently. It is precisely because of this that he has spent more time on online live broadcasts that can make more money. Now the number of Fish fans in Lu Fei's live broadcast room has reached more than 250,000, and the online popularity is maintained between 150,000 and 300,000. The average daily Fish ball reward is 5T, and he has successfully entered the ranks of Whale TV A-list anchors. However, Wu Shanshan told Luchin that it would not be easy to rush up again at this point. Luchin himself has the same feeling, so he attaches great importance to the PK theme show on the evening of the 30th, because this will be his best opportunity to break through the bottleneck. At noon on the 29th, Luchin sent the theme of his carefully prepared live broadcast to Wu Shanshan. Just after finishing the conversation with Wu Shanshan, the QQ in the lower right corner of the screen jumped up with a lovely girl's head. Luchin clicked on it and couldn't help but smile. Yi Zitong, a sophomore girl in the Department of Literature at Beijing Normal University, once came to Forget Worries Bar with her classmates to listen to him sing. Thus, the two met and added each other's QQ number. The beautiful girl and her classmates also uploaded the videos of Luchin's playing and singing You Who Sat Next to Me and Cinderella during the live broadcast to the Beihai City Forum. He once browsed the post and quietly clicked a like. That post was really popular. Unfortunately, the influence of the Beihai City Forum was limited. If there were no professional internet pushers to add fuel to the fire, it would not set off much of a storm on the internet. Luchin and Yi Zitong have always been in contact on QQ, but the number of conversations is very few. In the past, when his family was well off, Luchin may have taken the initiative to pursue, but now he is burdened with a heavy mountain of debt. He only thinks about how to make more money and really doesn't have much mood to talk about love. Yi Zitong. Senior Luchin, are you free this afternoon? Luchin. I'm free. What's the matter? Yi Zitong. It's like this. My computer is broken and can't be repaired, so I want to buy a new laptop. Senior, you are a computer science major. Can you accompany me to Computer City to help take a look, so that I won't be cheated? Luchin. That's no problem. Why don't I come to you now? During this time, in addition to exercising in the morning, he stayed at home most of the time. In addition to writing songs, he sang live. He hasn't been out for a long time, and he needs to relax. In addition, Luchin also wants to buy a laptop for himself. He is going to take it back to his sister Lu Shui. Just together. Yi Zitong. That's great. I'll wait for you at the gate of Beijing Normal University. Luchin. Okay. Turning off the computer, he got up and went to the bedroom to change into a new suit, and then ran to the bathroom to wash his face. Clean and refreshed, he went out the door. When he walked out of the door, Luchin suddenly thought of a question. Is this a date? He shook his head with a wry smile. But it is undeniable that he has a very good impression of Yi Zitong. After stopping a taxi at the intersection of the front gate of the community, Lu Chen quickly arrived at Beijing Normal University in the university town. At the main gate of Beijing Normal University, he saw Yi Zitong and Zhuo Xintian. Zhuo Xintian is Yi Zitong's classmate and roommate. She also came to forget Grass Bar that day. The live video post of Lu Chen's 2 songs was posted by Zhuo Xintian on the Beihai City Forum, using her own account. Seeing Lu Chen, Zhuo Xintian smiled and asked, "Senior Lu Chen, are you disappointed?" Chapter 51. Zhuo Xintian, as her name suggests, has a sweet and lovely appearance. Especially when she smiles, her head will tilt slightly to the right, and then 2 shallow dimples appear on her cheeks, making people have the urge to poke them with their fingers. Her smile is a little sly, probably because she wants to see the disappointed and depressed expression on Lu Chen's face at this moment. But she thinks too much. There is no disappointment, only surprise. It is my honor to be able to accompany the 2 junior sisters. Lu Chen is not a fledgling boy. He was also a very famous romantic figure at Jianghai University. How could he be squeezed by Zhuo Xintian's little teasing? He laughed and said, "Others are envious of me." Lu Chen is right. People come and go at the main gate of the capital. Many people notice him and Yi Zitong and Zhuo Xintian. Their eyes are full of curiosity and envy. Yi Zitong is graceful and beautiful. Zhuo Xintian is small and exquisite and has a smile like a flower, and Lu Chen is tall and handsome. The combination of the 3 is easy to be the focus of attention, no matter where they go. Yi Zitong noticed the gazes of others and pushed her friend shyly. "Tiantian, let's go." Zhuo Xintian smiled and hugged her arm and said, "Yi Zi, don't you think I'm a light bulb?" Yi Zitong's pretty face was suddenly stained with a faint blush, and she said angrily, "What nonsense are you talking about? I'm asking Senior to accompany me to buy a computer. What do you think you are doing?" Zhuo Xintian smiled and winked at Lu Chen. Lu Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It seems like the 2 of them are really dating. Okay, I won't joke around," Zhuo Xintian said. "Yizi wants to buy a computer, and I also want to change a keyboard. Where is Senior going to take us?" Lu Chen thought about it and said, "Let's go to the Bay Digital City. It's relatively more reliable there." When Lu Chen first came to Beijing, the place where he worked was a digital city. Although he didn't work in that job for long, he also learned a lot of inside information. He knew the reputation of several big computer cities. "Bay Digital City?" Zhuo Xintian said. "I've been there before. It's just 7 stops away from Line 3. Yi Zitong nodded and said, "Yes, I brought my transportation card. I won't be stuck in traffic even if I take the subway." Lu Chen originally wanted to hail a taxi by the roadside. Since they all said to take the subway, he naturally followed their advice. The subway station was very close to Jingshi University. The 3 of them walked over the bridge at the crossroads and arrived at the university in just a few steps. Everyone swiped their cards and quickly boarded the subway. It was a Friday afternoon. Although it was not rush hour yet, Line 3 had always been a popular line, so the carriages were almost full of people. The 2 beautiful girls inevitably attracted attention when they got on the train. Lu Chen quietly took them to the corner of the carriage. He took advantage of his height and long arms. His left hand held the vertical bar on the left side, and his right hand held the bracelet on it. He opened his arms and protected the 2 of them inside, isolating them from some malicious eyes. Zhuo Xintian took Yi Zitong's hand and whispered in her ear, "Senior is very manly." Yi Zitong and Lu Chen were very close. It was not known if it was because there were too many people in the carriage and it was too hot, but her face was red. When she heard Zhuo Xintian's whisper, the color deepened. The car started to move forward. The speed increased and the vibration became frequent. The 2 girls inevitably touched Lu Chen's body. Lu Chen tried to stabilize himself and not move. He did not want others to misunderstand that he was taking advantage of them. But in the summer, everyone's clothes were very thin. When they touched each other, they could clearly feel each other's softness or firmness. Yi Zitong lowered her head and did not dare to look at Lu Chen. Even Zhuo Xintian did not speak. Lu Chen smelled the intoxicating scent of the girls. It took a great deal of willpower to control the thoughts that arose in his heart. Fortunately, The 7-stop road was not very long. Lu Chen's suffering did not last too long. After leaving the subway station, the Bay Digital City was opposite. As soon as Lu Chen led them over, a group of people immediately surrounded them. "Brother, what computer do you want to buy? For your girlfriend? If you want to buy a computer, you must come to our store. We guarantee a 10-year reputation. We are now promoting it. This is a rare opportunity. Please come to our store and have a look. If the things are not good, we don't need to pay. We have all kinds of configurations." Our store. Lu Chen knew that these people had been soliciting customers at the entrance of the digital city all year round. Their eyes were very sharp. They could see that he was really here to buy something, so they were very enthusiastic. But if he was fooled by them, he would be a sucker. At that time, even if he cried to the heavens, he would not be able to find anyone. Lu Chen quickly blocked them and said, "We have already seen it, so you don't have to worry about it." As soon as his voice fell, he immediately pulled Yi Zitong, who was still a little confused, and quickly walked into the digital city. After smoothly breaking through the other party's encirclement, Lu Chen let go of Yi Zitong's small hand and explained, "Coming to the digital city to buy a computer. The most frightening thing is to be entangled by them. None of them are good." Yi Zitong's expression was very strange. She seemed shy and angry, but she did not speak. Zhuo Xintian held her arm and smiled ambiguously. They were holding hands. Lu Chen coughed a little awkwardly and said, "Let's go up and have a look." He wanted to say that he really didn't mean it. It was purely an accident. Fortunately, the girl did not care. Along the escalator, the three of them came to the 3rd floor of Bay City. In order to resolve the embarrassment just now, Lu Chen asked, "Why don't you consider buying it online? Nowadays, online shopping is very convenient. You won't lose out if you place an order in a brand flagship store." Yi Zitong's expression returned to normal. She said, "We can't buy the real thing online. We have to try it first and see if we like it. If the price in the store is not right, then we will go online to buy the same model." Zhuo Xintian laughed and said, "We often buy clothes like this. We only try it and don't buy it. We will piss off those who rip us off." Lu Chen was dumbfounded. They were much smarter than he thought when it came to shopping. In the past 10 years, online shopping had developed rapidly and had become an important driving force of the domestic economy. Correspondingly, it had also dealt a heavy blow to physical retail stores. For example, of the original 7 major digital electronic cities in Beijing, there were now only 4 left, and they were basically struggling at death's door. Strictly speaking, the decline of many physical stores and shopping malls could not be blamed entirely on online shopping. For example, the computer city in Beijing had always been known for its chaos and disorder. The phenomenon of ripping off customers and bullying customers continued despite repeated prohibitions. It had become a cancer in the industry. When Lu Chen first worked in the computer city, it was because he could not accept this bad atmosphere that he left. It was true that he was down and out, but he would never use swindling and cheating to make a living. There was plenty of time in the afternoon. Lu Chen took Yi Zitong and Zhuo Xintian to visit one store after another. They mainly looked at the brand stores, especially the flagship stores. Even if the price was expensive, they had to buy with confidence. The help he could provide to Yi Zitong was to pay attention to the computer's configuration. As for the style and color, it was up to the latter to decide. Girls did not have high requirements for hardware and paid special attention to appearance. The three of them looked around as if they were shopping. Finally, Yi Zitong saw a light notebook in a flagship store of a joint venture brand. The price was 5,500 yuan. Lu Chen checked the computer's configuration. Although the performance was not very strong, it was enough for girls. The price was a little expensive, but the design was very fashionable and beautiful. He asked the salesperson in the store, "If I buy 2, how much discount can I get?" The price of the flagship store's display was also inflated. Lu Chen did not want to be long-winded with the salesperson, so he directly showed his cards. The salesperson, who was originally smiling, immediately showed an aggrieved expression and said, "Sir, we are a flagship store. The price is not discounted. The goods are genuine and fair." Lu Chen smiled and immediately took out his mobile phone to search for the same brand on the internet and showed the online price to the salesperson. The salesperson was very experienced and quickly said, "Sir, things on the internet are not reliable. Let's not talk about anything else. Online is also a flagship store." Lu Chen said straightforwardly, "2 computers add up to a total of 10,000 yuan. You can also give me a matching set of keyboard and mouse. If it's okay, then it's okay. If it's not okay, I will go back and buy it online myself." Seeing that Lu Chen was so determined and that the 2 girls were following his lead, the shrewd salesperson knew that if they wanted to make this deal, they had to agree to Lu Chen's conditions. Of course, they could also make a profit. It was just a matter of how much. The salesperson hesitated for a moment and said, "Well, we are really going to lose money." Lu Chen grinned and said, "Go to the warehouse and bring the stock over. Let's make this clear first. If you bring goods that have been exposed, then I will not accept it." Chapter 52. The so-called exposed was a jargon. It referred to unscrupulous merchants who would use a hairdryer to heat up the seal at the bottom of the packaging box and unseal the newly packaged goods. Then they would take out the accessories or even the host computer and replace it with refurbished goods or even counterfeit goods to make a huge profit. As long as the technique was right, ordinary customers would not be able to see through the flaws. They would think that the goods had not been unsealed, and they would not even know that they had suffered a loss. Lu Chen saw that the salesman agreed readily, so he gave the salesman a heads-up in advance, letting him know that he knew the business and could not be fooled, so that he would not have to negotiate later. In fact, when encountering a more shady shop, the salesman often tricked the customer into paying first, and then deceived them with the same model, but a lower version. The water in the computer sales industry was very deep. However, the customers learned to be smart after being fooled so many times. Coupled with the rapid transmission of information on the internet, everyone was willing to go to reliable shopping websites, so these notorious digital malls could not survive. The salesman's face stiffened, and he showed a smile that was uglier than crying. "Sir, please rest assured that our shop is about credibility. We will not deceive our customers." Lu Chen smiled and did not say anything. Of course, he did not dare to deceive those who knew the business, but those who did not know the business were just sharpening their knives to become pigs and sheep. The salesman ran to the warehouse to transfer the goods. Zhuoxintian said with great admiration, "Senior, you are really amazing." She and Yi Zitong were very smart girls. How could they not see the salesman's guilty conscience? If they had not asked for Lu Chen's help today, how could they know so many tricks and schemes? They probably bought it according to the online price, and the goods inside had already been changed to unknown goods. Yi Zitong was a little worried. Will it be troublesome to find them for warranty in the future? The salesman had been crushed by Lu Chen like his father had died. It was hard to guarantee that he would not take revenge in the future. Lu Chen smiled and said, "Why look for them for warranty? Just go directly to the brand's after-sales service. If you look for them for repair, you will be cheated again. There is no need at all." The water of repair was deeper than that of sales. Yi Zitong was relieved. Her beautiful eyes were shining, and she bit her lip and asked, "Senior Lu Chen, why did you say you wanted to buy 2? Are you going to buy one for yourself as a gift?" This kind of notebook suitable for girls is obviously not for Lu Chen's own use. Lu Chen explained, "Yes, the other one is for my sister. She's going to college next year." Yi Zitong smiled and said, "So that's how it is. You are so good to your sister." As a result, she inadvertently saw Zhuoxintian casting an ambiguous look at her, and suddenly blushed. Lu Chen smiled, but he was sighing in his heart. His sister Lu Shui used to have a computer. Later, something happened to her family, and she became a Cinderella from a little princess. Lu Chen has always wanted to buy her a new computer, and it wasn't until now that he got his wish. The 2 new computers were brought over. Lu Chen checked them twice, and after confirming that there were no problems, he opened the box and checked the machine, and finally paid for them. At this time, the 2 girls finally had a chance to show their talent. Under their insistence, the store finally gave them 2 sets of matching keyboards and mice, which were cheaper than online shopping. In the end, the salesman sent the three of them out of the door with a black face. After buying a suitable new computer, Yi Zitong was in a good mood. "Senior, I will treat you to dinner tonight." "Thank you." It was already 5 p.m., just in time for dinner. Suoxintian said faintly, "You invited Senior, but not me. Heartless is the best sister." "Ah." Suoxintian's voice suddenly rose an octave. It turned out that Yi Zitong, who could not bear it any longer, had used her magic tickling skill. Yi Zitong was so scared that she hid behind Lu Qun. "Senior, save me." The two girls sandwiched Lu Qun, who did not know whether to laugh or cry, in the middle, attracting the attention of many passers-by. And Lu Qun had a feeling of returning to his old school, very warm and happy. Dinner was also very happy. In the end, Yi Zitong paid the bill. Originally, Lu Qun was going to pay the bill, but he could not resist the former's insistence. He could see that Yi Zitong was the kind of girl who had a lot of self-respect. She was smart and reserved, beautiful but not arrogant. She had a good family background, so she did not like to take advantage of others. Such a girl, there might not be one in 1,000 people. Lu Qun did not deny that he had a good impression of Yi Zitong, but his current attitude towards feelings was to leave it to fate. Even if they could not be lovers, being friends was also very good. After leaving the restaurant, it was still early. Lu Qun said, "Can you do me the honor of inviting the two of you to Forget Worries Bar?" Before Yi Zitong could answer, Suoxintian clapped her hands and said, "Great then, Senior, can you sing a new song?" Lu Qun asked, "New song? Don't you like You and Cinderella?" These two songs had become his signature in Forget Worries Bar, and many customers specially came to listen to him sing. "You and Cinderella are both very good," Suoxintian said with a smile. "But if Senior can give a song to Yi Zi, that would be the best." Obviously, she was the one who liked the new and hated the old, but she wanted to use Yi Zitong as a signature. Yi Zitong covered her face with her hands, with a helpless expression of being defeated by her. Lu Qun smiled and said, "Then let's go together. I will send you back to school before 10 o'clock. Suoxintian shouted, "Long live Senior." Yi Zitong hurriedly moved 2 steps away, showing that she had nothing to do with this crazy girl. But she did not refuse Lu Qun's proposal. After stopping a taxi, Lu Qun and the two girls went to Forget Grass Bar. On the first night of the weekend, the bar's business was very good. It was just after 7 o'clock, but there were no empty tables. Fortunately, there were still seats in front of the bar. Lu Qun brought people over and said to the bartender, "Brother David, these two are my friends, please take care of them." 2 beautiful girls sitting in front of the bar would inevitably attract the attention of some crazy bees and butterflies. The atmosphere and customer quality of Forget Worries Bar were good, but there was no rule that said that girls couldn't be picked up. With David's care, he could help them avoid trouble, and if there was an empty table, he could arrange it as soon as possible. Seeing Yi Zitong and Suoxintian, David's eyes suddenly lit up. He held the shaker, raised his left hand to his chest, and bowed in a very gentlemanly manner. "Good evening, 2 beautiful ladies. It is a pleasure to meet you. My name is David Lee." Yi Zitong and Suoxintian both felt that it was very interesting, and replied with a smile, "Hello." David pretended to be deep in thought. "Let me guess, which one of you is Boss Xiaolu's girlfriend?" Suoxintian used her finger to poke Yi Zitong's arm, causing the latter to roll her eyes in a very unladylike manner. Suoxintian smiled and said, "We are just Senior Lu Qun's junior sisters." "Brother David, does Senior Lu Qun not have a girlfriend now? And why do you call him Boss Xiaolu?" "What?" David was surprised. "You guys don't know?" Lu Qun finally couldn't listen anymore. "You guys chat, I'm going backstage to prepare to sing." He could only flee. Suoxintian shouted behind him, "Senior, don't forget." After running backstage to say hello to Sister Na and the others, Lu Qun borrowed a guitar from Qin Hanyang, and then went on stage. There were many customers in the bar who knew Lu Qun, and they were very happy to see him appear. Lu Qun's performance time had long been changed to after 11 o'clock, and he no longer sang every day, so it was really a surprise to see him on stage so early. Applause and whistles rang out at the same time. Lu Qun sat in front of the microphone with his guitar and said, Thank you everyone. Tonight I will sing 3 songs. The first 2 are the ones you like and are familiar with. As for the third song," he paused and looked at the 2 girls sitting in front of the bar. "It will be a new song. It will also be the first time singing in Forget Worries Bar." The applause that had just subsided sounded again, and it was at least 10 times more enthusiastic than before. Who among those old customers didn't know Lu Chen's talent? Who didn't like his original works? To be able to hear his new song again, it was simply a surprise among surprises. Zhuo Xintian tightly grabbed Yi Zitong's arm and said excitedly, "Yi Zi Senior is really going to sing a new song?" Yi Zitong nodded, her eyes shining with a moving light. Chapter 53. That day dusk, white snow began to fall. Sadness blooming all over the hills, waiting for youth to leave. Midnight movies, full of ancient love, in the darkness singing for young. The Forget Grass Bar, which was full of people, was very quiet. Everyone was quietly listening to Lu Chen's playing and singing. Listening to a new song that they had never heard before. Although the melody was different, it was still the familiar style. The sound of the piano was melodious, and Lu Chen was singing. There was no hoarse roar, nor was there any blood-boiling excitement. He was just telling the story of the past, with a little sadness and nostalgia in the warmth and romance. The song he wrote seemed to be like a glass of clear and transparent white water, which could be tasted carefully. "Let's go, girl, to look at the red morning glow. Bring my love song you sing in the wind. Dew hangs on the ends of hair, full of transparent melancholy. Is the first confusion of my life." Yi Zitong sat in front of the bar. Her position was very good. She could clearly see Lu Chen on the stage. She couldn't help but stare at the face that she was not very familiar with. It was a clean and handsome face, with thick and neat eyebrows and a straight nose, but the thing that left the deepest impression was that pair of bright and spirited eyes. That kind of deep darkness seemed to contain countless secrets, causing people to be unable to help themselves from wanting to explore them. Yi Zitong's pretty face suddenly turned red, so red that it was a little hot, because Lu Chen's gaze looked over, as if he was singing for her. "When the years and beauty have become a sigh in the wind. In your sad eyes, there are tears of the old days, the age of believing in love. The song that I couldn't sing for you. Let me often recall in my life." Gently playing the last note, the song came to an end. Lu Chen withdrew his gaze. He put the guitar on his lap and said to the microphone, "A song, Love in the Wind, is also my original work. I hope everyone likes it." As expected, the applause rang out, lasting and warm, pure and sincere. Whether in terms of melody or style, this song Love in the Wind did not exceed the scope of You Who Sat Next to Me and Cinderella. It was still a nostalgic folk song, but it still brought a lot of surprises to everyone. There were many talented singers who often fell into a dilemma after creating 1 or 2 masterpieces. Their subsequent works lost their spirit and soul. Some were even satisfied with the reputation and benefits brought by their previous works, and went to pursue flashy things. Lu Chen was obviously not like that. His inspiration seemed to be endless, and the works he created in succession could be said to be fine, or even classic. Whether it was lyrics or music composition, there was no perfunctory. Even if this song Love in the Wind is not better than other songs, it is enough. When love has become a song, when the singer has left, when the past gradually drifts away, who among the passers-by can forget such a touching love song? So at this time, all they had to do was applaud. Zhuo Xintian was also applauding, and her little palms were red. She leaned close to Yi Zitong's ear and said, "Yi Zi, Lu Chen Sr. sang for you, so you should follow him." Yi Zitong gritted her teeth and pinched the little girl with a broken mouth. She said, "If you like it, you can take it away. Don't take me with you." Today, Zhuo Xintian made a lot of jokes with her about Lu Chen. She was simply trying to rob the matchmaker's job. Zhuo Xintian smiled and said, "Don't regret it if I really take you away." Yi Zitong snorted and said, "There are many people who want to chase me." Zhuo Xintian commented, "Insincere." Yi Zitong was speechless. At this moment on the stage, Lu Chen did not respond to the enthusiastic customer's request to sing a few more songs. He thanked them and left the stage. Lu Chen liked the atmosphere of Forget Grass Bar very much, but this was just a station in his life. He was destined to be unable to stay here, and he would only have less and less time to come here in the future. After returning the guitar to the Bionics, Lu Chen returned to the bar. Xintian praised, "Senior Lu Chen, you sang so well. Why don't you sing a few more songs?" Lu Chen explained, "3 songs are enough. Because I need to protect my throat. What would you like to drink? It's my treat." Xintian was just about to say yes, but Yi Zitong said, "Thank you, senior. I want to go back." Xintian was surprised. "Yi, are you serious?" Lu Chen was also stunned, and then said, "Okay, then I'll send you back together." Yi Zitong smiled and nodded. Xintian was very unhappy, but she could not stay here alone, so she reluctantly left with them. Lu Chen first sent them back to Beijing Normal University. After getting out of the car, Yi Zitong said to him, "Senior, thank you for your trouble today." She was suddenly much more polite to Lu Chen. Lu Chen smiled and said, "You're welcome. If there is any problem with the computer, you can contact me at any time." Yi Zitong said, "Okay." Xintian looked at Yi Zitong, and then looked at Lu Chen with a puzzled expression. Lu Chen waved at her. Goodbye. After Lu Chen left in a taxi, Yi Zitong and Xintian walked towards the university. Xintian hesitated. When they were about to reach the dormitory building, she cautiously asked, "Yi, are you angry?" Yi Zitong smiled and said, "No, I'm just thinking about how to deal with you later." "Ah," Xintian said disdainfully. "You're so stubborn now, but when we really go to bed, who knows who will deal with who?" "Ah." The crisp laughter and playfulness of the two spread far and wide in the campus at night. Unfortunately, Lu Chen could not hear it. He returned to the single apartment in Jincheng, took a shower first, and then turned on the computer and logged into Whale TV. Just as he was about to open the live broadcast, his phone suddenly rang. Seeing the name displayed on the screen, Lu Chen quickly took the phone and pressed the call button. "Sister." It was his sister, Lu Shi, who called Lu Chen. Lu Shi was 3 years older than Lu Chen. She also graduated from Jianghai University. She was an alumnus of Lu Chen, but she majored in finance. It has been 2 years since she graduated, and she is currently working in a private company. "Lu Chen, I heard from Mom that you are very promising now." Lu Shi's voice was still familiar, still with a teasing tone. "Did you give 300,000 yuan to your family?" Ahem. Lu Chen coughed twice and said, "I was lucky. I wrote 2 songs and sold them at a high price to earn money." "Such a promising thing that can make money, then you should do it well." Lu Shi said, "You don't have to worry about my affairs. I'm not going to take the postgraduate entrance examination. You just take care of yourself." As soon as her voice fell, she hung up the phone. Lu Chen smiled bitterly at the busy tone of the cell phone. Lu Chen's sister had a tough temper. She inherited the strength and stubbornness of her parents. Her relationship with him was not very good. Before his sister, Lu Shui, was born, because Lu Chen was a boy, he was always the most favored at home. He more or less developed a little arrogance and willfulness of a rich child. When Lu Qingxing's career was in trouble, Lu Chen was still addicted to the romance of college. He was indifferent to the situation of his family. He only knew how to ask for money. It was not until his father died of overwork that he suddenly woke up. Although at that time, no matter how hard Lu Chen worked, it was useless. But Lu Shi insisted that if he didn't want to earn a family business for Lu Chen, Lu Qingxing would not work so hard. Since then, the sister and brother haven't talked much. Lu Chen felt guilty, so after making money, he wanted her to go back to school to continue her postgraduate studies and take the doctoral examination to fulfill her dream. Unexpectedly, Lu Shi didn't appreciate it at all. She also called to ridicule him. Lu Chen turned off the computer that he had just turned on. Because of this phone call, he was not in a very good mood, and it was difficult to force a smile in front of the camera. Tomorrow night is the PK theme show of Whale TV. Lu Chen has been preparing for this for a long time. He doesn't want to compete with others in a depressed mood. Lu Chen's goal is to win the top 3 rewards of the PK theme show. This sounds incredible. It should be known that the number of viewers in his current live broadcasting room is the least among all the 24 competitive anchors, and his popularity is far from that of the really popular anchors. But Lu Chen doesn't think that he has no chance to get into the top 3. He firmly believes that his efforts will win success. He will succeed. Note: Love in the Wind lyrics/composer Gao Xiaosong. Chapter 54. Hey. Lu Chen stepped forward and punched, suddenly exhaled, as if to release all the strength of his body. His clothes had long been soaked with sweat, and every bit of potential in his body had been squeezed to the extreme. His muscles and bones were sore and numb, but he insisted on finishing this set of boxing. Although it was very hard, Lu Chen had been used to and liked this kind of exercise. In just over half a month, he clearly felt that there had been a good change in his physique. The most important thing was that through this almost masochistic exercise, the negative emotions accumulated in his heart could easily flow out with the sweat, leaving behind the relaxation and joy after persevering. Young man, this set of boxing you are practicing is very interesting. As soon as Lu Chen stopped, an old voice suddenly came from behind him. Who did you learn it from? Lu Chen turned around and saw that the person who spoke was an old man with a head full of silver frost but a ruddy complexion. He was wearing a set of white cotton linen shirt with a lotus leaf collar buttoned at the lapel, and a pair of black flat shoes on his feet. He had a sage-like temperament. He replied with a smile. Hello, old sir. I just practiced blindly. Sorry to make you laugh. Lu Chen came to the small park by the river every day to exercise early. He had seen the old man who liked to do Tai Chi many times, but he just nodded when he met him before and didn't say anything. The boxing he practiced came from Emo Rant's memory. In the world of dreams, martial arts culture prevailed for a long time, and countless classic martial arts films and martial arts films emerged. There were also many stars and martial artists in the film and television circle who were good at martial arts. Interestingly, in the world of Lu Chen's dream, Hong Kong, an international metropolis at the southern end of the motherland, returned in 1997. It was the birthplace of martial arts culture, and there had been several master-level figures in its literary and artistic circle. In reality, Hong Kong returned at the same time as Taiwan in 1967. Together with Macau, which returned in 1969, it was one of the 3 special administrative regions implementing the policy of one country, 2 systems, which was very different from the situation in the dream world. Similar to the dream world, in reality, the cultural industry of Xinjiang had an incomparably glorious period in the 1980s and 1990s. A large number of films and TV works such as Police and Robbers, Gods and Ghosts, romance, urban, business war, and even erotic as well as Cantonese songs, were all popular for a time, and had a profound impact on the popular culture of the mainland. Mo Ran had been practicing martial arts since he was a child, and in order to broaden his acting career, he had worked hard in this area. He could really be considered extraordinary. Unfortunately, until the time of the accident, he had never played the lead role in a movie or television. Life was often like this. It didn't mean that you would get the results you wanted just because you worked hard. However, Lu Chen knew that if he didn't work hard, then he wouldn't be able to win. Hearing Lu Chen's humble answer, the old man became angry and shouted, "Blindly practicing? Do you think I don't know? You might be blind, but my old eyes aren't. If you don't want to tell me, then forget it." With that, he angrily turned around and left. Lu Chen was a little speechless. He didn't expect this old man to be so hot-tempered despite his benevolent appearance. Shaking his head helplessly, Lu Chen trotted all the way home. Compared with the original underground dwelling, Jincheng Garden was farther from the riverside park. Therefore, when Lu Chen ate early on the road and returned to his single apartment, it was already past 9 o'clock in the morning. Lu Chen habitually took a shower, then turned on the computer to check his preparation. That's right, the PK theme show in the evening was a battle. As soon as he went on QQ, countless messages swarmed in an instant, beeping nonstop. Lu Chen has the QQ Sharp Immunity function, so the message must be from the friend he added, so he opened it to see what was going on. As a result, he found that most of the messages actually came from Li Bai, the local tyrant. Boss, are you there? If you're there, answer quickly. We all need you. General Liu, why is your phone turned off? I can't get in touch with you. Depressing. Are you there? Lu Chen took out his mobile phone and looked at it. It turned out that it had run out of power and shut down automatically. He quickly replied to Li Bai. I just came back from a run. My mobile phone ran out of power. What's the matter? Li Bai replied in an instant. Damn boss, you finally appeared. Our Lu Jiejun is going to be dispatched. You quickly come over to mobilize before the war and inspire the morale of the army. Lu Chen couldn't help but look at the time and replied. Isn't it too early? Since he announced in the QQ group that he would participate in Whale TV PK theme show, it immediately caused a sensation among Lu Fei's hardcore fish fans, that is the Lu Jiejun fan group organized by Li Bai. As the founder and biggest supporter of Lu Jiejun, Li Bai immediately said that he would do something big and try to push Lu Chen into the ranks of popular anchors of Whale TV and aim for the top 5 throne of PK. Now Lu Jiejun has expanded to 3 groups, including Lu Jiejun's 1st Division, 2nd Division, and 3rd Division. All of them are super groups with an upper limit of 5,000, which can be regarded as a small scale. Those who are willing to join the group to participate in activities are undoubtedly the real hardcore fans. For Lu Chen's ignorance, Li Bai simply hated iron for not becoming steel. It's still early. Others have already started. If we don't take action, we will really fall behind. Anyway, you don't have to worry about the specific affairs. I will organize and arrange it. You just say a few words in the group. This local tyrant, whose real name Lu Chen doesn't know, is definitely a hardcore among hardcore fans. He treats Lu Jiejun's fan group as his own business. He is so serious and responsible that it makes Lu Chen blush with shame. Lu Chen also asked Li Bai if he was worried that the fan group would affect his work and life. As a result, how did Li Bai answer? Li Bai replied that his work is to eat, drink, and be merry. His life is racing, going to prostitutes, and going to nightclubs. After that, he has been tired of playing all these games. Now he has found a new joy in life. If you have money, you can be so willful. In this regard, Lu Chen can only say that the more hardcore fans of this local tyrant, the better. At the request of the local tyrant, he immediately showed up in the fan group. Hello everyone, I'm here. The 3 divisions of Lu Jiejun that Li Bai created is not only a paid supergroup, but also a group. As an administrator, Lu Chen has the privilege to speak across groups. His words in any group can be synchronized to all the groups belonging to the group. As soon as Lu Chen showed up, the 3 groups boiled at the same time. Lu Feida is online. Boss, we are all looking forward to your appearance. General Liu, come on, you must get into the top 5 tonight. I will always support you. Don't say anything, just watch our actions. Long live Lu Jiejun. Ha ha ha. The enthusiasm from the fans made Lu Chen very touched. Thank you everyone for your support. I will definitely work hard. Li Bai coolly said. What is our Lu Jiejun slogan? When the army goes to war, it is invincible. In an instant, the same messages in the group were like a waterfall, filling half of the screen. There were also a variety of emoticons in the middle. Li Bai immediately sent out 3,000 yuan red envelopes in the 3 groups at the same time. Chief of Staff is mighty. Haha, I got a 10 yuan red envelope. I didn't get it. I really can't afford to be hurt. Please send it again, local tyrant. I didn't get it either, 55,555. Let's do it again. Li Bai said. Don't worry everyone. Act according to the scheduled plan. If Lu Feida wins the top 3 in tonight's PK show, then I will send a 10,000 yuan red envelope to all the groups, and 5,000 yuan to the top 5. I will never go back on my word. We will fight with Lu Feida, Lu Jiejun will win. Win. Under the command of Li Bai, thousands of group members and fans began to act. Their battlefield is in the forums of major live broadcasting websites. The main battlefield is, of course, Whale TV, followed by related third-party BBS, post bars, QQ groups, and QQ circles, fully publicizing and promoting Lu Chen's live show. Because many websites will crack down on the behavior of the Water Army, ban the account and even block the IP of the violators, Lu Jiejun's first large-scale action is concentrated on today, striving to achieve the best results. The same thing is being done by other anchors who participate in Whale TV PK theme show. They also have their own fan groups and supporters. A fierce battle is destined to break out in the evening. Chapter 55. Original New Power Whale PK Theme Show. I accidentally heard 2 very good songs. Share them with everyone. Tonight I will meet the Prince of Folk Songs Lu Fei at Whale TV and listen to the most moving original folk songs together. You who sat next to me, Cinderella, have you heard of it? With the large-scale movement of Lu Jiejun, more and more promotional posts appeared on major popular BBS, especially in the forums of many anchor platforms, where a large number of advertising posts have been brushed. The same advertisements have also emerged one after another in Post Bar, QQ Group, QQ Circle and other places. The advertisements, without exception, include the anchor promotion of Whale TV PK theme show, as well as links to 2 original songs by Lu Chen. There are many experts in Lu Jiejun's fan group who understand technology. They use posting robots to save time, send hundreds or even thousands of the same post at the same time, and use zombie accounts to carry out large-scale publicity. Although it is a spontaneously organized amateur water army, because of the large number of fans involved in the event, the promotion effect is very good. Many people who are idle and bored on Saturday are attracted to the internet, and then they know that Whale TV will hold an event in the evening and pay attention to Lu Fei's live broadcast room. Of course, most of the posts are either mercilessly blocked by moderators or group owners, or disappear silently, but even if only 1/10 or even 1/100th of them play a role, they can also pull a lot of passers-by fans. You who sat next to me plus Cinderella, 2 original folk songs that are at least fine, make these advertisements seem very convincing, and will not make people curse after clicking on them. Lu Jiejun's publicity offensive reached its peak in the afternoon, and the members of the army even had a fierce confrontation with fans of other anchors on the main forum of Whale TV, stirring up the atmosphere. Li Bai personally made the real command in Lu Jiejun's QQ group. The red envelopes were flying all over the sky, which also greatly stimulated the enthusiasm of the group members and fans to participate in the promotion, and they all became tap water. But all this has little to do with Lu Chen. He is doing the final preparations before the live broadcast of the PK theme show on the computer to ensure that nothing goes wrong. Among the 24 Whale TV anchors participating in the PK, Lu Chen's current popularity index is the lowest, and his goal is to get into the top 3, which is very difficult. But Lu Chen has assessed that this is not completely impossible, because the result of the anchor PK is based on the popularity index, audience votes and scores. Although popularity is extremely important, it can't completely determine the outcome. For his opponents, Lu Chen has learned about them. Are either masters in popular games, or popular figures in life and entertainment. They all have their own characteristics and advantages. For Whale TV's popular anchor Xiao Xiaogu, star, Xiao is star, star is with the life. His live broadcast can attract millions of fans to watch live. The anchor Qinger Baby is beautiful and has a good figure. She has a sweet voice and can sing. Every night, she can attract countless fish fans to stay in front of the computer. She is known as the first goddess of Whale TV. There are also Pure Love Brother, Rain, Sun. They are all strong opponents. If Lu Chen wants to defeat them, he must have his own trump card. His trump card is undoubtedly his original works. In the 2-hour PK theme show in the evening, Lu Chen is going to sing 7 songs. In addition to You Who Sat Next to Me, Cinderella, Blue Lotus, and Love in the Wind, he will also come up with 3 new songs. These 7 original songs, which have reached at least the level of fine works, are the magic weapons that Lu Chen used to sweep his opponents of the same level, and they are also the supreme weapons to win the high score of the board. To this end, Lu Chen also spent a lot of time and energy this week to make simple music videos for all 7 songs to match the live broadcast performance in the evening. Lu Chen studied computer science at Jianghai University. He studied computer applications. He has a good talent in this field. He also studied art before. It is not difficult to make music videos with the help of commonly used software. The video material of the music video is all from online resources. After appropriate editing and adding lyric subtitles, it is undoubtedly a big highlight when it is finally played during the live broadcast. The Anchor platform of Whale TV supports video synchronization. In order to ensure that nothing goes wrong, Luchin needs to practice repeatedly in the background to ensure that the operation can be accurate. Now Lu Fei's live broadcast room, like all the live broadcast rooms that participate in the PK theme show, is temporarily closed. All 24 anchors cannot open the live broadcast channel before 8 p.m. However, at 9 a.m., the homepage of Whale TV was updated, releasing the theme covers of all 24 anchors. Any audience can click on the cover to enter the theme page of the anchor, follow and participate in the chat and lottery activities. The theme of Luchin's live show is called Graduation Season. Listen to the pure and beautiful campus folk songs and recall the past of youth in the graduation season. The term campus folk song has not appeared in reality. In the past, folk songs were usually divided into lyrical folk songs, nostalgic folk songs, rural folk songs, and so on. The once brilliant scenery is no longer there. In Luchen's dream world, campus folk songs are popular because of people and are like a flash in the pan. Whether it is gratitude or memorial, Luchin brings campus folk songs to his own world and let it shine again. Time passed quietly in the busy waiting. When it was dark, Luchin did not go out for dinner and ordered takeout directly online. His preparation work has been completed, and he is waiting for the live broadcast to begin. At present, the number of viewers waiting for Lu Fei's live broadcast room is more than 100,000, ranking 7th among all 24 anchors. Although there are still 2 hours before the official start of PK, any ranking is irrelevant, but this also reflects the degree of fan participation. Lu Chen's high popularity is inseparable from the efforts of Lu Jiejun Group. Thousands of fans in Lu Jiejun Group have been mobilized and countless posts have been posted on the internet. It is not known how many IDs have been killed and how many IPs have been blocked, bringing a large number of passers-by fans and new audiences. In addition, support activities have been carried out in the group early. Li Bai has sent out 20,000 to 30,000 red envelopes, so it is reasonable for the popularity to be strong. Otherwise, he would have just admitted defeat. Lu Jiejun's 3 groups are very lively, and Luchin also participates in chatting and interacting with fans. This kind of communication is extremely important. Online anchors are different from real stars. Their aloof attitude will be hated by fans, and the real diehard fans also like to see the anchors bubbling and spitting water in the group. At 7 o'clock in the evening, 1 hour before the start of the PK theme show, Li Bai suddenly sent a secret message. Li Bai. Boss, do you have the confidence to rush to the top 5 tonight? Luchin was stunned and replied, What's wrong? Li Bai. I met an enemy who said that it is absolutely impossible for you to rush to the top 5, and he still wants to bet with me. Li Bai. It doesn't matter whether I win or lose, but if I lose to him, I will lose too much face, so I want to ask you, boss. Luchin knows that those who can bet with this local tycoon are definitely not ordinary people. His apparent disadvantages are still very obvious. To say that he wants to rush to the top 5, in the eyes of others, it is natural that he is overestimating himself. Li Bai is certainly not convinced, but he is not fully sure in his heart, so he came to ask Luchin. It is nothing more than to find some confidence. If you want confidence, then I will give you confidence. Luchin did not hesitate and immediately replied, Of course I have confidence, what about you? Having come this far, he will not admit defeat to anyone. Even if the opponents are all strong, he will fight to the end. Luchin's goal is to be in the top 3. Li Bai. If you have confidence, then I have confidence. Isn't it just 100,000 yuan? I'll bet with him. 100,000 yuan. Luchin was a little speechless. He didn't understand the world of the local tycoon. When his family was rich in the past, his monthly pocket money was only a few thousand yuan. Luchin suddenly felt that the pressure on him was a lot heavier. At 8 o'clock in the evening, the live broadcast room opened automatically. Whale TV PK theme show competition officially began. Chapter 56. At 8 o'clock in the evening, Chun Seong logged on to Whale TV on time. Chun Seong is a Northeasterner. Last year, after he graduated from a local third-rate university, he came to the capital to make a living. He changed jobs several times. Now he finally stabilized and became a member of the Floating Ants. Chun Seong is very confused about the future. He didn't think too much about it. Anyway, it is unrealistic to get married and start a career in Beijing. If he can make more money, he will make more money. He will go back in the future. Therefore, he lives a very frugal life, lives in a cheap basement, eats in a cheap fast food restaurant, doesn't have a girlfriend and doesn't go out to play. His only pastime is the internet. Watching movies, novels, listening to pop music, and running to the forum to chat. He can also enjoy himself. Chun Seong also likes the live shows that have become popular on the internet in the past 2 years, especially in the life and entertainment category. There are always many beautiful girls acting coquettishly in front of the screen. Appreciating their performances can satisfy many of his fantasies without spending money. So he ran all over the major live platforms and soon became an old driver. The problem with an old driver is that he sees too much and soon gets tired of it. Those girls basically have double eyelids, conical faces, false eyelashes, beautiful pupils, and a thick layer of powder. Even their mother's cute and coquettish actions and expressions seem to be collectively trained by Lanxiang. And it is inevitable that they will lose their appetite after seeing them. Chun Seong's appetite is not very good. He is also afraid of his kidney deficiency, so he quickly abandoned these visible, audible, and untouchable girl anchors, and went to find new fun. More than half a month ago, Chun Seong wandered in Whale TV, and inadvertently clicked on the newcomer recommendation on the homepage, and entered the live broadcast room of a newcomer named Lu Fei. Then he became a member of Lu Jiejun. At that time, what moved Chun Seong was that the Lu Fei anchor lived in almost the same place as him. Through the dialogue, he learned that the latter was also drifting in Beijing. Perhaps it was because of mutual appreciation or sympathy. He rewarded 1,000 fish balls in Whale TV, for the first time, which was equivalent to the money for his lunch. He likes to listen to Lu Fei's playing and singing. He likes the anchor's optimism and humor, and he likes the other party's original folk songs. He felt as if those songs were written in his heart. Chun Seong's economic ability is limited, and he can't spend money like a local tyrant. What he can do is to send a little bit of popularity when watching the live broadcast. Chun Seong knew early that Lu Fei was going to participate in the Whale TV PK theme show, so he decided to support him with action. From this morning until evening, he brushed hundreds of promotion posts on major forums. Although these posts were all crushed into powder, and even their accounts were all banned, Chun Seong was still very happy, sharing the joy of conquering the internet world with thousands of fans. Moreover, he was lucky enough to get a red packet worth tens of yuan from the group owner, Li Bai. Chun Seong decided to give all these red envelopes as fish balls to Lu Fei. At the same time, he also hoped that Lu Fei's theme show in the evening would be exciting and good, and he would win the top 5 in the PK competition. So as soon as 8 o'clock arrived, Chun Seong and thousands of fans entered Lu Fei's live broadcast room as soon as possible. Then they were first appreciated for 3 minutes of advertising. I'll go Whale TV is getting more and more unscrupulous. Advertising is vulgar. My life has been wasted for another 3 minutes. Yes, 3 minutes is enough for the brother in front to finish his work, take off his clothes and put on his clothes. Ha ha ha. Don't talk about it, everyone. Look at the advertisement. The above companies have closed down. 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 The above companies. Although it's advertising time, there are so many happy barrage comments, so it's really not boring. Chun Seong happily tapped on the keyboard and typed the same content. Together with the dense barrage, the advertising picture was tightly blocked. At this moment, the online popularity of Lu Fei's live broadcast room has exceeded 300,000, reaching its highest peak in the past. Such a situation is normal. First of all, the organization of Lu Jiejun's fan group is quite high, And the promotion before PK is quite effective. Countless hardcore fans and passers-by fans have come in at the time to support, coupled with the theme recommendation on the homepage of the website. There are also a large number of tourists watching the excitement. But whether these tourists can stay or not depends on the ability of the anchor. Although Whale TV has carried out a long publicity for this event, and a brief outbreak of popularity is normal, if it is scattered into 24 live broadcast rooms, it will form a fierce competition. Chen Xiang suddenly worried. He knew that Lu Fei's opponents were very strong, and it was really difficult to get into the top 5. In the midst of worry, the 3-minute advertisement ended. The live broadcast screen was displayed in an instant, and it was still the familiar scene and familiar people. Lu Fei on the screen was smiling. He was holding a guitar, and his eyes flashed with confidence. Good evening, everyone. I'm your anchor, Lu Fei. It's a pleasure to meet you again at the theme show. The theme of the live broadcast I brought to my friends tonight is called Graduation Season. I believe that all of your friends in front of the screen, have experienced the moment of graduation. I also believe that you have or have had a good time on campus. I will use my singing to bring you to cherish and recall the beauty of your school days. Thank you. The opening remarks were very good, pointing out the theme of the live broadcast, and easily evoking Chen Xiang's memories. He suddenly didn't worry anymore. The next moment, the anchor's image was reduced and switched to the upper right corner, and the main interface showed an edited movie picture. The name of the first song is called Love in the Wind, an original campus folk song. I hope you can like it. The prelude of the gentle playing, and the laughing and chasing boys and girls in the movie and video, instantly brought everyone into the youth of campus life. That day, at dusk, snow began to fall. Sadness blooming all over the hills, waiting for youth to end. Midnight movies full of ancient love, in the dark, singing for youth, the beautiful and moving melody, with a slightly sad voice, made those memories of youth suddenly become very vivid. Chen Xiang and the 300,000+ viewers in Lu Fei's live broadcast room heard this song, Love in the Wind, for the first time. The barrage on the screen was like a waterfall that suddenly stopped, leaving only a trace of water line. Until Lu Chen sang the first time affectionately, the story was just over half. Enrollment, meeting, getting to know each other, first love, misunderstanding, breakup. The pictures perfectly set off the lyrics. The barrage increased again. I've seen this movie. It's so moving. Was this song written by the anchor himself? Nonsense, our Lu Feida is an original talent and the prince of folk songs. His songs are all written by himself. Throwing the original theme song of the movie 3 Streets. Throwing 3 Streets plus 1. I want to cry, the anchor compensate me. It's really nice, I like it. Lu Chen ignored all the comments. His mind was completely immersed in the mood of the song, and continued to play and sing for the second time. Graduation, travel, struggle, missing reunion, true love. The long movie was condensed into a few minutes. Commemoration of Youth at the Age of 19 was a youth film released in domestic cinemas at the beginning of the year. Its box office of 290 million set a record for the same type of film. Many people have seen this movie. The story in the movie may be cliché, but no one will care about it, because listening to the song is enough at this time. I believe in the age of love, the song that I couldn't sing to you. Let me often recall it in my life. As the song came to an end, the style of the barrage changed. Chen Xiaoi, I love you. Sun Yahan, I miss you so much. Li Miao Miao of class 7, 3rd grade, I'll wait for you by the woods after class. Wang Chang, you are a bastard. But I like you. Zhang Jia, I want to make love to you again. The words that she usually wanted to say but didn't dare to say. Those words that were pressed in her heart suddenly burst out and wantonly vented. Although it was the beginning, it was close to the climax. After the song, Love in the Wind, was sung, the barrage was like a tide of rewards. At 8:10 p.m., Whale TV Lu Fei Live Broadcasting Room, online popularity, 392017. Chapter 57. Lin Surong, I like you. With all his strength and courage, Chen Xiang typed 7 words on the Fian black keyboard he bought for 29 yuan. and sent them out together with all the fish balls in his account. Lin Surong was the flower of his university, and the object of his hard love for 4 years. But because of his own ordinary, Chinseong has buried this fiery feeling in the bottom of his heart, and never told anyone about it. He thought that time would dilute everything, and those young and naive yearnings would go with the wind and no longer linger in his heart. But now that he heard this song Love in the Wind, he knew that he was wrong. Some feelings are not so easy to forget. The longer the time, the more fermented it is, and it can't be erased. I believe in the age of love. The songs that I can't sing to you, let me often recall in my life. Chinseong hated his timidity. If he had bravely confessed once, then even if he was ruthlessly rejected, at least now he could calmly face his former feelings. Fortunately, after typing out what he wanted to say a long time ago, his mood was inexplicably relaxed. Let bygones be bygones. Oops. Chinseong suddenly slapped himself in the face, neither lightly nor heavily. He was just impulsive and sent out all the fish balls, but the live show has just begun. It should be sent out one song at a time, which is the most economical and correct way to do it. I am such a pig. In a basement of a community in Beijing, a man beat his chest and stamped his feet in annoyance. At this moment Lu Chen, who had finished playing and singing Love in the Wind, was very satisfied with the opening he deliberately created. For this PK theme show, he made careful preparations and considered all aspects of the situation. Choosing a song is naturally the top priority. There are too many songs in Lu Chen's memory, but in line with the theme of graduation season, his choice is limited. Love in the Wind, which Lu Chen only sang once in the bar, can be regarded as an original work. He used this song as the opening song instead of You Who Sat Next to Me and Cinderella, in order to give his main fan group a big surprise. You Who Sat Next to Me and Cinderella are admittedly real masterpieces, but most of the fans have heard them many times. It's difficult to arouse their hearts again. It may be good to pave the atmosphere, but it's not conducive to gaining the upper hand. The PK theme show is not an ordinary live broadcast performance. It has a strong competitive competition nature. Each of the 24 anchors is extraordinary. In order to stand out among them, Lu Chen must find ways to retain every fan and tourist, increasing himself and weakening his opponents at the same time. Tien not bad. Therefore, the creation of the atmosphere in the live broadcast room was the key. Big would not only increase the cohesion of the fans, but it would also attract a large number of passers-by to stay and continue watching the fun. In order to enhance the singing effect of Love in the Wind, Lu Chen also specially edited the popular movie clip of 19-Year-Old Youth Memorial to further enhance the charm of the song. The increasing number of fish balls at an alarming rate proved that his hard work was not in vain. Lu Chen struck while the iron was hot and said to the microphone, "In the memory of youth there are people we like, and there are our brothers and sisters. The following song is still my new original song, still a campus folk song." The first song was a new song, and the second song was unexpectedly a new work. The atmosphere in the live broadcast room suddenly exploded. Lu Feida is mighty. The prince of folk songs deserves his reputation, dominating the whale but me. Good, 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 good. I want to repeat it 10,000 times. All the songs that the anchor sang in the evening were his own original songs. Do you think it's great? Really? Even the students from the Music Academy are not so N13, right? What's the Music Academy? Our Lu Feida just casually threw out a song and beat the first class. Beat the first class? You can really brag. If it's all original live broadcasts and the first song is good, I'll eat the keyboard. Sit and wait to eat the keyboard. Watch and eat the keyboard. Pay attention to the formation below. Watch and eat the keyboard +1. Watch and eat the keyboard +2. Watch and eat the keyboard +3. Watch and watch. Although it was one-sided applause and praise, there were also doubts mixed in. After all, many of the audience were tourists and passers-by, not loyal fans, so it was inevitable that there would be different opinions. And this kind of doubt is obviously very normal. Today's pop music world is not the 80s and 90s. The power of originality has long declined. Most idol stars in the music industry imitate Europe, America, Japan, and South Korea. They are used to directly cover foreign works, which saves time and effort, and can please fans and make a lot of money. In this atmosphere, there have not been many classic works in China in recent years. Fast songs, rap songs, and the so-called divine songs are popular for a time, full of noise and impetuosity. Lu Chen's original folk songs are obviously not like this. Although everyone is not a professional and can't say much, they can listen with their ears and feel with their hearts. Whether a good song is not blown out by the mouth. To be continued. But in the 2-hour live broadcast in the evening, he will sing more than 3 or 4 songs. It's fine if the first song is an original, but who will believe that the first song is a masterpiece? This is where the doubts of passers-by come. But they don't know Lu Chen, let alone the confidence that Lu Jiejun's fan group has in Lu Chen. As a result, they were immediately surrounded by countless fish fans, waiting to eat the keyboard. Of course, Lu Chen saw the contents of the exploded barrage, but he just laughed it off. Whether it's questioning or ridicule, fighting back with quarrels is the stupidest way. Not to mention interrupting his own rhythm and wasting precious time of the live broadcast. If there are media judges watching it on the spot, it will be a big loss of points. This PK theme show is very important to Lu Chen, and his mind is very clear. Want to lead the rhythm? Save it. Everyone, don't watch anymore, because I think you will like the following song. Especially my fellow men, this song was written for you. Of course, women, don't be angry, because the third song will be dedicated to the most beautiful and lovely you. Please listen to The Brother Who Sleeps on My Upper Bunk. As soon as Lu Chen's voice fell, the live interface immediately showed a new movie screen and a new edited MV. The direction of the barrage immediately changed, and no one paid any more attention to the guy who was crushed to powder. My brother. I've seen this film, and I went with my ex-girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend? Then you should go with your gay friend. What a good oil blanket. Go to hell. Everyone listen to the song. I will always support Lu Feida. Long live the men, long live the new song, long live Lu Feida. The women expressed their regret and love the anchor. The brother who sleeps on my upper bunk? Haha, it's a fatty who sleeps on my upper bunk. I'm always worried that the bed will collapse. Brother. My Brother and 19-Year-Old Youth Memorial are both urban youth films. The former's box office is far less than the latter, but its reputation is far better. When it was released last year, it attracted countless praise. The story of the film tells the story of 2 classmates and friends who fell in love with the same girl at school, and then agreed to compete with each other after graduation, thus embarking on their different life paths. My Brother is very inspiring, and the ending is unexpected. The 2 leading actors performed very well, and with this film, both won the Best Actor laurel of the 2014 Capital University Film Festival. Therefore, as soon as Lu Chen played the edited film video, someone immediately said the name. And this is exactly the effect he wants to achieve. The prelude melody sounded, and the singing followed. The brother who sleeps on my upper bunk. You soundless and unseen. The questions you once asked me, now no one asks again. Give me the brother who smokes cigarettes. Give me the happy past. You always can't guess the coin in my hand. Shake your head and say it's too mysterious. You write more and more polite letters. You don't mention a word about love. You say you have a lot of friends now, but don't worry about those things anymore. 817, Whale TV Lu Fei Live Broadcast Room Online Popularity, for 63660. Note. The brother who sleeps on my upper bunk lyrics/composer, Gao Xiaosong. Chapter 58. Love and friendship had always been the eternal and unchanging theme on campus. Lu Chen's first song, Love in the Wind, is about love, and the second song, The Brother Who Slept on My Upper Bunk, is undoubtedly about friendship, which belongs to the true friendship between classmates and buddies. Many people didn't get love when they were students, and they didn't even know what love was. But there are very few people who don't have friendship. This song, The Brother Who Slept on My Upper Bunk, uses simple words with a faint sad tune, as if inadvertently, it gently hits the softest place in their hearts. Then all kinds of memories that sink in the bottom of their hearts will suddenly come to their minds. Blurred faces begin to become clear. Strange voices gradually become familiar and easily evoke everyone's memories of youth. Playing, running, fighting on campus. Until after graduation, they went their separate ways and gradually lost contact. Primary school, junior high school, college. How many figures who used to accompany and know each other disappeared in the memory of time. The brother who slept on my upper bunk sleeps in my lonely memories. The girl you always talked about in those days, did she give you her hairband? You said that every time you look back at the sunset, every time you hear the evening bell, the dribs and drabs of the past will surge in your heart that you don't have time to be sad. You write more and more polite letters. You don't mention a word about love. You say you have a lot of friends now, but don't worry about those things anymore. You ask me when we can go back together, look at our dormitory, our past. The words you engraved on the wall are still clear. From then on, no one can erase it. The barrage displayed on the screen is getting fewer and fewer. Those who watch the live broadcast listen very carefully to this moving song that touches the heartstrings. The scenes in the movie flashed in front of their eyes. The lyrics and singing seem to be like gurgling water, slowly flowing in their hearts, moving in melancholy. The brother who slept on my upper bunk sleeps in my lonely memories. The questions you once asked me, now no one asks me. Give me a brother who smokes cigarettes, give me a happy past. The questions you once asked me, now no one asks me, now no one asks me, now no one asks me. At the end of the song, the audience was silent. Then, rewards started flooding the screen. System notification. Call me Levi Silver 7 has gifted the host an aircraft carrier. System notification. Big Brother Whale, Gold 6, has gifted the host an aircraft carrier. System notification. Prince Lon Ling Gold Eye has gifted the host an aircraft carrier. System notification. Riding a crane down to Yangzhou Iron Centipede has gifted the host an aircraft carrier. System notification. Tiger Hits Wusong Gold 3 has gifted the host an aircraft carrier. A continuous stream of domineering aircraft carriers crossed the screen, mercilessly covering an astonishing number of fish balls. In addition to a few local tyrant fans that Lu Chen was familiar with, there were another 6 or 7 new supporters. After tipping an aircraft carrier, the live broadcast website system would automatically pop up a celebratory message across the entire platform. As long as it was on the platform, whether it was in the live broadcast room or the forum, all online members would be able to see it. Gently clicking on the celebration bar would immediately send you to the corresponding live broadcast room, which would then form a good promotional effect. It is precisely because of such a linkage mechanism that in any live broadcast platform, the strong are often stronger. Popular anchors have the support of a large number of high-level fans, and they can easily gather countless popularity. However, it is still rare for more than a dozen aircraft carriers to appear in the same live broadcast room in succession. While the number of fishballs in Lu Fei's live broadcast room soared, his online popularity also soared. Of course, it was impossible for other PK-themed show anchors to not see it. All of them thought that this was a challenge to them, so the local tycoons who supported them came down one after another, and the aircraft carriers worth 1,000 yuan flew all over the sky. The atmosphere of Whale TV was extremely hot. I'm afraid that even the event officials did not expect such a situation. Less than half an hour after the start of the PK, the major anchors had already started fighting. Tonight will definitely be a fierce battle. Capital Beijing, Ping'an District. Ping'an District is located in the prime area of the Second Ring Road, which belongs to the core hinterland of Beijing. The housing prices are among the best in the country. Those who can buy a house in the district are not ordinary people. In a room on the third floor of the A7 villa, a short-haired young man in his 20s was sitting in front of the computer, his fingers flying on the keyboard, and from time to time, he held the mouse and clicked a few times. Little Bai, you are really capable now. Where did you find this master? Interesting. Suddenly a message popped up showing the ID Earthies. The short-haired young man smiled disdainfully and quickly replied. What? Are you afraid? If you are afraid, then admit defeat. Earthies. Afraid? When have I old saw been afraid? Why did you throw so many fishballs down? You are really ruthless. What's this fishball? The short-haired young man despised. It's not enough for you to eat a meal. Don't tell me you didn't throw it on you, Gitch. Arthes. It's a small matter how many fishballs I throw, but it's boring if I throw too many. That will make others laugh at us two fools. Let's talk about a number? The short-haired young man hesitated and replied. How much do you say? Arthes. No more than 5, and I can't let others help me. The short-haired young man. No problem. Arthes. Hee, then it's a deal. You just wait to admit defeat. The short-haired young man. In your dreams. After closing the conversation with Arthes, the short-haired young man looked at Lu Chen on the screen and fell into deep thought. 5 figures equaled 50,000. He had already gifted 15 aircraft carriers, which was equivalent to 5 figures. The number of rewards affected the popularity index, which was one of the ranking indicators of the PK theme show. Although the number of fishballs did not really determine the final ranking, the proportion was still not low. According to the agreement with his opponent, the short-haired young man could continue to throw 35 aircraft carriers in Lu Fei's live broadcast room. If it was in normal times, it would be amazing, but now it was nothing at all in PK. The most popular anchors had millions of fans and popularity, and they could easily get tens of thousands of rewards. In contrast, Lu Chen's accumulation was too little. The short-haired young man didn't mean to go back on his word or cheat, because he couldn't afford to lose such a person, and the other party was the same. So apart from the rewards, the rest could only rely on Lu Chen himself. At least so far, Lu Chen's data is rising steadily, and there is hope for him to break into the top 5. He couldn't help but type 2 words on the keyboard. Come on. Lu Feida, come on. The brother who slept on my upper bunk. Give me a cigarette. I also think of my upper bunk. Although I am a girl, I also like this new song very much, and I am looking forward to the 3rd song. Like +1 look forward +10,000. Where is the guy who just said he would eat the keyboard? Post the live broadcast address. Haha, be sure to watch. That grandson ran away long ago. Lu Chen's 2nd song, The Brother Who Slept on My Upper Bunk. The atmosphere in the live broadcast room was more lively than before. There were thousands of barrage discussing the song, and many people were recalling their classmates and friends. Most of the people who like live broadcast are single dogs. Compared with Love in the Wind, they prefer this song about friendship. At 8:27. Whale TV Lu Fei Live Broadcast Room, Online Popularity, 517922. The continuous increase in popularity data shows that the graduation season theme show has been very successful so far. Most of the audience who came and stayed. They were attracted by Lu Chen's playing and singing performance, and the number of fish powder increased simultaneously. 500,000 plus. The smile on Lu Chen's face became more confident. He didn't waste time and said, The Brother Who Slept on My Upper Bunk is dedicated to all my male compatriots. Of course, the following song is dedicated to all my female compatriots. Thank you for supporting me here on such a night. A Cinderella for everyone. The 3rd song is Cinderella, because there is nothing more appropriate than this song. Although he has played and sung many times, this time Lu Chen prepared a little surprise for his female fans. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.